to say what's up to everybody that's coming up in the space right now. So we plan on having us a really nice discussion, guys. We hope that all you guys listening go ahead and share the space. We hope you guys that want to actually participate in the actual space tonight as well too. Go ahead, raise your hand, request to speak. By all means, we'll go ahead and let you speak and say what you got to say. So we're hoping to have a nice space, nice dialogue as always. So I just want to welcome you guys into the space. We'll be starting shortly. We're going to wait for a few more people to start filtering in, and then we're going to go ahead and get to the topic tonight. And I hope everybody's ready to have that discussion and whatnot. So, once again, thank you guys for coming to the Newstoter space. If you don't know, the Newstoter space is always Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Once again, that is Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we do stream on YouTube as well. Last night I didn't, but tonight we're going to stream it on YouTube. So, Ray, how's the connection issues right now? You there, Ray? Uh-oh.
Yo, what's up? Yeah, sorry. Wow, I'm talking to my wife. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear, bro. Everything good. That's how y'all doing.
No, we doing pretty good. We doing pretty good, bro. I know you've been seeing all this stuff going on lately with Kanye and his little interviews, and then you got Candace Owens doing her little documentary trashing this man and whatnot. Brother been dead what 2 years now. She's sitting up here. Why you can't just do a documentary if you want to go in on Black Lives Matter? Going on Black Lives Matter. But don't sit up here trying to sell us the beans that they had on Jack and the Beanstalk, talking about the way this man died and this and that, and trying to throw all this salt into his death and whatnot. That's really not necessary.
I really feel like they might be mad because they kind of used George Floyd's death during that time to, kind of position themselves to win the election. Because what the election like 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was back in 2020. And at the time that you had the election, you had all of the political, you had all of the chaos, you had all of the protests and everything else that was going on and this and that. And credit to the Democrats, they used all of the stuff that was going on to actually to get the black vote as well too. Of course, since they got that black vote, we see exactly what they've done with it, which is diddly poo.
Yeah, man. I know everyone's gonna, obviously get ready to speak. Man, I was trying to wait until more people came in here, but I mean, I think it needs to be said, man. We need to. Well, sorry, my dog is acting up. Want to play? why is the family of George Floyd suing Kanye, but not the police department that killed your loved one? That's my thing. Like, you got to be consistent. Like, what I'm saying? Don't have all that smoke for us, but then y'all want to sit up here and forgive, all these individuals that murdered your loved one.
Well, now I do believe that his family has been critical to my understanding. Now I could be wrong, but I believe they have been critical of the police department. But I guess they feel that Kanye West is, Kanye has a huge platform. When you're talking about these stars and stuff like that, you talk about somebody that probably has tens of millions of followers on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter and whatnot, and they spewing this stuff, sitting up here telling people that that the man wasn't murdered, that he overdosed. He overdosed and he had health issues and stuff like that. So you can kind of understand how the family is feeling a little bit hot, a little bit perturbed about that. Like, come on, man, what are you talking about? What are you sitting up here trying to do? What do use your platform for something worthwhile. Don't sit up here and just start sitting up here lying just to be lying and whatnot, as if Kanye doesn't have enough attention. And like I say, we see Kanye chilling with Candace Owens. Not only was Kanye, but you had Ray J too. Like both of them had Kanye and Candace had on the White Lives Matter t-shirt. Ray J was chilling with him and whatnot. Hey man, like I said, if you want to go into Black Lives Matter, there's plenty ammo that you can use and this and that. Black Lives Matter, let's be for real. Use the death of George Floyd, use the death of Breonna Taylor, you name it. So many other people that lost their lives during that time to kind of, push their agenda and whatnot for their organization. So I can see if you want to go ahead and you want to talk about where the money went at with Black Lives Matter. Did they put it back in the community? Did they give the money back to some of the people who died, their family members or whatever? Okay, fine. But don't sit up here and use George Floyd as a punching bag to go ahead and try to get your little vitriol off or whatever.
So I remember when George Floyd died, man, there was a narrative at one point that was going on that, when the cop didn't really have his knee on his neck, what happened was that was a car that was in front of, I guess, George Floyd, the police car. And what he died was the fumes. He was breathing him on the bad fumes from the tailpipe. I'm like, these people will sit around and justify anything to try to get some of these police off. And that's our problem. And y'all defend the bad cop. And just like they tell us, like, I think everyone has heard that old saying, that all cops are bad. But we have to start using the logic that they use on us. Well, all cops ain't bad, but guess what? You fit the damn description. And I land there.
Real talk, real talk. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna touch up on this article because we got some people coming up in here, so we might as well. DJ, what's going on? Let me know how the actual audio is. Is everything cool and whatnot?
Sure, for sure. Reparations up. What's up, black people? Let's get it. What's up, Ray? What's up, Tom? Let's go.
What's going on, family?
No doubt, no doubt. And like I say, y'all, everybody coming up in the space, y'all go ahead and go ahead and make sure you please go ahead and tweet this out. I'm just going to touch up on this article real quick from Black Sports Online just to get everything kind of flowing and whatnot. Black Sports Online, if y'all have not been to Black Sports Online, it's a Black-owned website. It's about sports, entertainment, culture, a lot of things. If you're into entertainment and sports, it's a pretty nice site or whatever. So it's about the entertainment and sports and stuff like that. But here's an article from Black Sports Online, of course, curated on Newstoter.com. They're one of our curation partners. Shout out to Black Sports Online. It says Kanye West says cop Derek Chauvin didn't kill George Floyd. Fentanyl did. And here's the article. Excuse me. You have to just stop listening to Kanye. He is just saying stuff to get attention. And if you give him an outlet to spew his nonsense, you too are complicit. I'm looking at you, Noriega. Nori is weak for not challenging Kanye on anything. In addition to railing against the Jewish media, Kanye spent more time on Drink Champs regurgitating what he gleaned from the George Floyd documentary made by alt-right firebrand Candace Owens. His partner in White Lives Matter, most notably. West said that fentanyl and not being suffocated by a police officer knee caused Floyd's death. I watched the George Floyd documentary that Candace Owens put out. One of the things that his two roommates said was they want a tall guy like me. And the day that he died, he said a prayer for 8 minutes. West told Drink Champs. They hit him with the fentanyl. If you look, the guy's knee wasn't even on his neck like that. During the trial against Minnesota police officer Derek Chauvin, medical experts testified that even though Floyd had traces of fentanyl in his system, Floyd died from a lack of oxygen caused by the knee on his neck, which a coroner's report affirmed, and deeming Floyd's death a homicide. So what in the hell this dude talking about when you got damn medical experts and you got the coroner's office telling you, yeah, he had traces of it. The man didn't OD off of it. He had traces in his system, yet he still died from lack of oxygen caused by the damn knee on his neck. West then compared Floyd, whose May 2020 death by police helped spark the Black Lives Matter movement, to the late designer Virgil Abloh. This white company, Louis Vuitton, is now making statues of him as a martyr, and we don't know why exactly he died. They said it was cancer, West said. Immediately after Floyd's comment, West asked Nori, can you even run this interview? Noting his appearance on HBO's The Shop was asked over hate speech, extremely dangerous stereotypes. After being uploaded to Revolt TV website Saturday night, West Drink Champs interview was pulled late Sunday morning. So yeah, of course, when he started saying stuff about Jewish people, you knew it wasn't going to stay on the air too long. So Kanye, he already knew that. It's like this dude is like trying to get attention and plead for help or this and that. Oh Lord, what happened to Ray? Don't tell me Ray having issues already stand up in the Twitter space, man. But yeah, this dude gonna sit up here. You got the medical experts, you got the coroner, you got all of us worldwide that sees this man's neck, this man's knee on his neck, man, telling you that he can't breathe. So I guess it was the fentanyl and the traces in his system. And let's be perfectly honest too, because that autopsy, they would have loved to prove that it was actually fentanyl that killed him and whatnot. But they see that it was just traces, which means that by traces, it could have been such a minute amount that it shouldn't even been reported. But anyways, they did say he had traces in his system. All those traces and whatnot still didn't mean a damn thing. The man was murdered on camera. Everybody saw it. Kanye saw it as well. So who was that? Precise. I'm gonna go ahead and let you unmute your mic, and then we're gonna give it to Queen B.
Peace and love to the room. Shout out to you guys and what you've been doing on the platform. I had a natural reaction to that George Floyd footage. I was actually on a Zoom call because I was working remote, working with young people. And I remember shedding tears when that video kind of came across me because, an honest reality is it don't really matter what he had in his system. He didn't get his day in court. He didn't get a fair trial. So we can't say, because he had drugs in his system, that's no different than, he had drugs in his pocket. And it finds its way for us to, for us to be deemed as not deserving decency and being treated with dignity. So I didn't stand with the statements as much as I, love and can support what Kanye is on. I just think that that's a cheap way to devalue our lives amongst a society that pushes to devalue our lives. And I guess, when we kind of get into these deep conversations, I think so many things happening between him and where we are when it comes to anti-Semitism, our identity as Black Americans, and what do we do when it comes to race and how we're baited into, outrage where we can see a Black Lives Matter organization use the pain of our people to raise money that doesn't really go back to the people. That there's just really, to me, a moment where as a community, how can we come together to decide on what is the right way to comply when we look at a Jalen Walker who runs and still gets shot 90 times. When we do try to sit down and comply and go to prison, stand your land, and we end up dead too. Like it's literally our engagements and interactions with law enforcement are kind of much of a catch-22. Damn if you do, damn if you don't. Who knows what's gonna happen at any experience? But us controlling the narrative of our people and making sure that as I land, never again do we, allow ourselves to be so emotionally blinded that we, allow, organizations to really use that. Because the biggest thing I see in this is, what and how can we not even own the term Black Lives Matter if that's something that we stood on? We think about Darren Seals and what happened with Mike Brown. How can we make sure we gatekeep our own plight and our own pain where we don't have to be outraged marketed to, so everyone else seems to find a way to benefit off us, and we kind of left there with this chaos and with this confusion, and whoever is brave enough to speak right or wrong for us, now we kind of got to deal with what that is. I don't think that he's the best spokesperson with the historical context to detail this information out, but I also get upset where he's the only one with that platform that's willing to talk. Can we get more killer mics? Can we get Trader Truth? Can we get, our loud voices in the community to really say what and how should we be moving forward when it comes to the injustice of our people and how we need to make sure we don't have to deal with others, running off with our pain but making it bad.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. I agree with what you said and whatnot. And I just feel like Kanye, sometimes it's what they say growing up. If you don't have something good to say, just keep your mouth closed. Like, he has a platform. It was no need for that. Everybody in the world saw it. You saw it. You know this too, man. Like, I mean, you have enough followers and supporters and this and that you don't have to drag a dead man. Everybody in the world saw what happened there, and you saw it too, man. So stop. Let's stop the nonsense. In the Jumbotron, I put in the article. I put in the article. Damn, I might have put in the wrong article. I'm gonna have to come back because I thought I put in the article for Okay, I did put in there. It's about Candace Owens, and it's about Kanye. It's about Kanye West, the family. It was from TMZ. It was on Newstoter, but it was actually from TMZ and whatnot. So you guys get a chance. It's the I believe it's the second to the far right. You guys get a chance. Go ahead and check that out. Just a little quick article about Candace Owens and potentially suing her too. And we're gonna cover that as well too, because like I say, Candace, we know exactly how she feels. And now your boy Kanye is making himself look very anti-Black. The past 3-4 years, he's showing his real disdain for Black folks. And I kind of remember that line in that song years ago that he had talking about when you get your money, a white girl gonna leave you or whatever. I can't remember how it goes or whatnot, but I know a lot of people want to say it's Kim Kardashian, but this boy's been cooning for a long time here. The coon might have came out even more after he got married to her, but Kanye's been cooning for a hot minute here. Let me go ahead and kick it to Queen B. Queen B, sister, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, Newstoter. Hey, DJ. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. So I came into your room a tad bit late, and so the title, George Floyd's family may sue Kanye West or Candace Owens. I'm not real sure, but I know that the news has been saying that they are wanting to go after Kanye's. But I think this really ought to go to Candace Owens. If he said he got the information from her documentary, seems like that's where the lawsuit lies, is her. And I would think that she would have had her information vetted before she released a documentary. So I'm not an attorney, so, but it just seemed to me like they're going after the wrong person if they are, in fact, going after him. It seems like she's the one that's putting mistruths out there. And I know that, just to your point about Kanye, I really didn't keep up with him too much. It just seemed like after he lost his mother that he, started to demonstrate, some odd behavior. And then when he got connected with Candace Owens, well, she's just anti-Black, period. And she along with Brandon Tatum, they seem like they take great pleasure in being anti-Black. And so if he's been hanging out with her, then it's no wonder. But I think that, again, I'm not an attorney, of course, but it just seemed to me like, they ought to be suing her as she's one putting a documentary out, because anybody can see that documentary and repeat it. What are they going to do, sue everybody that says it? So, to me, it just seems like, the energy should go towards her. And I don't know, I don't know what the connection is because isn't Kanye supposed to be buying Parler or wanting to buy it or something? And I think it belongs to her. Candace Owens, I know she's married to a Jewish man, if I'm not mistaken, and I think he owns the company. But anyway, that's just a side note. If anybody knows the answer to that, you can let me know. I'll land. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Appreciate it. I'm going to get to you, Dizza, real quick. I want to go ahead and just touch up on this article real quick. Very quick article from TMZ. And we can just kind of see what Candace Owens a little bit. Now, one thing about Candace Owens, I think she was saying that when he died, which makes no sense to me. Like when George Floyd died, I heard she was saying something like his family didn't come and pick his clothes up or some nonsense. Like, okay, maybe it's
she always speaks out against any Black person. Anytime there's a Black person that got killed by the police or anything, she always takes the police side. Always.
Oh yes,
this is her MO.
That's like Charles Barkley too. Charles Barkley, no matter what in the NBA, what happens. I remember when what's his name? Who was that got killed? I'm trying to think. Trayvon Martin, when he got killed, he had something to say about that. Whenever something happened, when a Black person got killed, Charles Barkley could always find fault. He can always say, the judicial system did what they had to do and this and that. So that's another reason why I don't really pay people like Charles Barkley any attention. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and let you say what you want to say, brother. And then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to touch up on this article real quick. Let me give a shout out to my man, Quadre. I saw he came up in the spot. He gave us a pound up. So what's up, Quadre? Good to have you up in the spot as well.
Yo, what's up, everybody? I just want to quickly, because I'm seeing some information about this lawsuit. So how can I'm trying to figure out, how can you sue someone for something that they said about? Is it like, does this fall under a defamation? Does any legal? Is there any legal people in this room that can speak on more of the legality of this particular thing? Because I saw the 250 range, and I'm like, well, I don't know if they don't get 250 if this lawsuit goes through. But I mean,
well, because George Floyd is actually dead, they can't, it can't be defamation against him. because they made the actual statement against him. They're trying to say that it's emotional distress that he's caused the family with his comments.
Okay. So yeah, in that case, Candace Owens definitely has to be vetted, because from what Kanye West said is that his two roommates said those things, which Candace Owens ran with. So it seems like she got false information just from the rip. And then to the fact that she probably didn't really research and do her due diligence on this particular matter. So, I mean, she definitely has to be added to like this lawsuit, because, I mean, this is ridiculous. This dude's been dead for 2 years. You're basically, no, what this is, it's like, you tell me, like, we see JFK, he got shot up in the head, right? But then you come back and then you tell me, no, actually, well, he had a heart attack right before he got shot up in the head. So he didn't die because of the gunshot. He died because it's like, come on now, man. Like, we saw exactly what happened. He was on that man's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. It's ridiculous. So I really do hope that Candace Owens gets tied up in like this lawsuit too, because I'm tired of black people. Something happened to a black person, and then we spend all this time whipping them and breaking them down. I really hate that stuff. Will Smith has a damn freak out. He snaps Chris Rock. All of a sudden, people are like, this is like the worst thing ever. Really? This is the worst thing ever up in Hollywood. This is the same thing that people were saying up on E! News. Never mind the fact that Harvey Weinstein was out here doing all types of molesting and raping behind the scenes. So it's just, I hate that whenever black people, it's a double standard for black people. So I really hate that. To Newstoter, thank you for having me up on stage. I just want to get that little information about the legality of like this lawsuit. That's all. But thank you so much. All right.
No problem, brother. And actually, we're finna cover it right now in this little article. It's a real short article from TMZ.
Break it down, brother.
Yeah. We're going to go ahead, and it's titled George Floyd Family. And also, y'all, it's in the actual Jumbotron as well, too. If you guys want to click on it, go to all the way to the far right, the second little bubble on the far right, you can actually see it. It says, George Floyd Family exploring lawsuit options against Kanye, Candace Owens. Floyd family attorney Lee Merritt joined us Monday on TMZ Live to further explain the potential lawsuit that might be filed against Kanye West. And it sounds like an intentional infliction of emotional distress might be the route they pursue. He says George's brother, Philanese Floyd, is dead set on bringing some type of legal action against Ye, with LM explaining he was irate Sunday when he heard the Drink Champ's comments. Specifically, Lee says the notion that he died from an overdose and not Chevin's knee on his neck is misinformation that has been debunked in court and agreed upon by a jury. Finally, Lee tells us the fact it was Kanye going after George Floyd made this all more personal and hurtful. Remember, he set up a college fund for George's daughter back in 2020. Wait, you set up a damn college fund for the girl in 2020, and then you come in with this nonsense here? George Floyd family is openly considering a potential lawsuit against Kanye West and Candace Owens, a case that could be similar to the blockbuster one against Alex Jones, but also different in some key ways. Civil rights attorney Lee Merritt, who's repping the fam, tells TMZ he's exploring all possible legal avenues to bring a potential lawsuit over what Kanye said about George on the new Drink Champs episode. He's also looking to what Candace put into her new documentary. Lee's already noted a defamation lawsuit isn't possible because George is deceased, but he's looking into other potential ways the Floyd estate, the George Floyd Foundation, or the family members themselves could bring claims, and one path could be emotional distress. The Sandy Hook families were able to successfully sue Alex Jones for defamation because he called the parents actors. Kanye didn't say anything about George family members, but his statement and allegedly the Owens documentary could still have a negative impact on them, which is why Merritt is pursuing grounds for a lawsuit against them. The bigger point here, though, is that Lee wants Kanye and Candace to understand statements like the ones they're putting out in the world, namely that George died from a fentanyl OD and pre-existing conditions, but not Derek Chavin's knee, are false and hurtful. Lee tells us the type of rhetoric undermines the Floyd family's effort to pass legislation like the George Floyd Policing Act and their work at large. He also says it deflects blame from the officers who have been convicted in connection to his murder, especially Shaven. There's still a lot of groundwork to do before anything's filed. We're told Lee and the family have to go through Candace Doc, the greatest lie ever sold, to see what exactly she said and if there's any basis to bring legal action. Lee says he believes he'll have a more specific outline of his potential cases of action later this week. He says the family hasn't discussed a dollar amount for which they'd like to sue, but it's a good bet they're trying to get punitive damages, and given Kanye's worth, those damages will be worth several million to truly punish him. So as you guys can see, that they can't get the defamation because, like I said, he didn't specifically say anything about the actual Floyd family. But they're trying to hit him with the emotional distress that and that might be the avenue in which they can work it and they can go ahead and get it. I would like to definitely see Candace get her comeuppance, and I kind of like to see Kanye West shut his mouth too. Like I say, worry about something else, man. Go worry about your ex-wife and your kids. Worry about your little fashion designs and your tennis shoes and your music and everything else. Stop trying to be the political voice of Black people. You sit up here and you say the most magpie type things that we can ever hear. You want to sit up here and you want to be this Black mega man or whatever. Fine. Say your little mega things or whatever. But even the most mega people had to go ahead and kind of just sit back and just keep their mouths quiet when they saw George Floyd get killed. Now, yeah, they want to try to bring up his past and this and that, but nobody in their right mind could sit up here, and we saw the man up here dying right before our eyes, and sit up here and say, well, it was an OD. I mean, stop it, man. What are you talking about? DJ, you got it. Go ahead.
Yeah, so back to what the brother Jesus was saying before, or Diz, excuse me. You can't sue nobody for that type of money without them actually ceasing and desisting or what they're saying in general. So Kanye got a choice. He can shut up right now, like Newstoter said, or if you keep repeating the rhetoric, then we could go ahead and move forward with the lawsuit. So that $250 million is just pretty much telling you to shut the F up. And that takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. It will be kind of similar to what you said too, Todd, about the Alex Jones lawsuit. Now I'm glad that shit happened because he was talking smack about the Sandy Hook school shooting, about the families, about the kids. They got that joker for $500 million strip, yeah. And who I don't even think he would even work anywhere near that. But I could be wrong because you know how these white folks play. They got money out the wazoo. So at the end of the day, Kanye definitely need to shut the hell up. You know what I'm saying? But to the George Floyd, if anybody just speaking on him, there's a statue of George Floyd right here in Newark, New Jersey, in front of City Hall. Nobody in Newark want that statue there. So you're gonna sue all of us for saying we don't want the statue here. But the Dixiecrats, aka the Democrats, they ain't doing nothing to remove it, and nobody even asked for the statue to be even put there in the first place. So it's like, why y'all trying to make him a martyr to Black people? That's pretty much what it is, man. I yield it.
All right. Let me I'm gonna say this right here, DJ. Having a statue or whatever, I believe he has to be a martyr for the simple fact that I think it hit a nerve of Black people that it kind of back in 2020, 2021, man, kind of hit. It was almost like that 1960s type vibe at the King. And don't get me wrong, y'all. I don't want anybody to think I'm comparing George Floyd to Dr. King, but when you start seeing all of the cities around the U.S. in the 1960s burning and stuff, people that even weren't King supporters and stuff, like, okay, man, enough is enough. Enough is enough. And I think that's just what it struck a nerve and it hit with people like that. I'm not saying that he should have a statue, anything of that nature or whatever, but the simple fact, putting a statue up there, and sitting up here and just totally lying on how somebody died or whatever, it is a hurtful thing. And then here's the thing with Kanye. Why in the hell would you go ahead and start an actual scholarship for his daughter, and then you're gonna come back a couple years later and sit up here and say, well, your father wasn't murdered, he just OD'd and he had health conditions. I mean, that's the thing that pisses people off right there. Like, come on, man, stop it. Like, just knock it off, bro. It's not even like that, man. Go worry about Pete Davidson and Kim Kardashian smashing one another. don't worry about anything like this. Apparently, it's too deep. You're a fish out of water, so just leave it alone. Unless you're just an attention whore that's sitting up here trying to get more attention. Let's go ahead and kick it to we're gonna kick it to Quad there. We're gonna get to you again, Dizza. My man Ray. Ray, I hope you went to that web browser, man, because I see you keep having some issues.
Hey, let me just say this one thing real quick before the next person go. So the reason why a lot of folks, specifically Black Negroes, want the statue removed from the city of Newark is because these white folks be disrespecting the statues. So the day we had our New Jersey pull-up, some old-ass decrepit white crackers, you know what I'm saying, women, came up and sat on George Floyd's lap because he's sitting down on like a bench with his arm just like chilling on a bench. That's how the statue is. So one of them came, sat on his lap while the other one's taking pictures. That's some regular shit. It's been defaced multiple times and repaired. So this is costing the city and the taxpayers money as well. So if he's going to put it somewhere, because there's even a statue of George Floyd in his hood of Minneapolis, Minnesota. I think that's where he's from.
I would hope so. Shit, that's the place he got killed, and that's where everything. That was like the jump off part. Like Minnesota is supposed to be this great liberal city with Prince and everything else, or Minneapolis or whatever the hell, and it was just as racist as down here in Florida. Quadir, my man, go ahead and unmute your mic, bro.
Yo, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
What up, Quad?
What's up now?
Jersey.
Jersey in the building. Yeah, real quick. Minneapolis, the Midwest, man. I think it's real bad over there with the racism. It's probably that's where the most racism is. You know, when I'm at work and there's some some suspected white supremacists telling me that area is bad with racism, then it has to be bad. You know, it has to be worse than the rest of the country. But anywho, I wanna say something. I agree with you, Toter. Kanye just needs to be quiet. He talks way too much. At this point, I think he's just trolling, saying anything to get clout, trying to bring attention to something, and it's not working. But I will say this, since he brought up George Floyd again, it's been making me think, what happened to Derek Chauvin? Does anybody know what his sentence is? And has he been sentenced?
Yeah, he's been. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, guys.
No, go ahead, brother.
No, you got it. I know because you remember Derek Chauvin, hasn't he been sentenced twice? And this is crazy, man. Like I said, we go through all this news and stuff, but I know he was sentenced one time, convicted. I believe he got sentenced again for something that I believe he got sentenced as well too. So
he called a federal case. The only problem is that they're going to run both sentences concurrently. So he's still going to be out in about 10 to 15 years, depending on behavior. He'll be out. I think he got 22 years or something, but that was state time. So with good behavior, he can be out in 10, 12, something like that years, depending. If he's in jail busting heads and fighting people, it could be 15 years. If he's in PC, which I'm assuming he's going to be in protective custody, then he'll probably be out within 10 to 12 years.
I find that hard to believe that this boy be out in 10 to 15 years. Like, this joker shouldn't see the light of day. First off, he should never get out. But if he did get out, it should at least be a minimum of 30 some years or whatever. Like, he should be damn collecting his social security check by the time he actually leave the damn prison or whatever. Quad, I'm gonna have to check up on that, man, because I don't know. Like I say, and it was so many articles that we had that that he had got convicted and this and that. So, but we got to check up on that, because I'm not exactly sure how much time he got or whatever. But I'm glad that you brought that up. That's something that I definitely got to take a look at, because I can't say Derek Chauvin and the rest of those other ones, and some of them other ones really didn't get no damn time, period. The ones that just stood there and watched him kill him or whatever, like, they just got a slap on the damn wrist.
Yep. So when you get that info, let me know. I'm gonna do some research too.
Oh, will do, brother. I would definitely do that. Dizza, go ahead and before I get to you, let me get to my man Ray, because I don't know, Ray, you having the audio issues, connection issues. Ray, you there? Try Ray one more time. Ray, you up in the spot? We'll come back to Ray. Ray, maybe because he's been having some. I see him putting a hand up, so that must mean he might be in the matrix right there. Dizzle, go ahead and unmute your mic, brother.
Yeah, nah, it's he got sentenced to 22 years, and then I think his federal case was like 15 years. Oh, I'm sorry, like 10 years, something like that. But the way that they have it is that with good behavior, he can be out in, like 10 to 12 years and all that stuff. Because you already know how they do people that kill black people. They get them. They find ways to just let them out. But I wanted to touch on that Alex Jones thing. The reason why the Alex Jones he got a penalty that high was because the judge kept on getting cease and desist orders. He kept ignoring them. He kept mocking the judge. He spent many years publicly shaming those parents from Sandy Hook. So he spent many years shaming all those parents, and that's why like the penalty was so harsh, because he kept on blowing off the judge and basically ignoring all of these court orders. So that was the thing with him. As far as this George Floyd thing, I mean, I would have to. Has anyone seen this old Candace Owens documentary? Because I really need to see like that clip where she talks about this George Floyd thing to really get a good context about. Because I'm trying to see how up Chick's Creek is Kanye with this whole thing, or Candace Owens with this whole thing.
That's not to cut you off, brother, but that's what I also want to know. Like anybody in the actual space that actually saw that, please, if you get a chance, please come up and request to speak and let us know exactly how that was or whatever. Because I also want to know that. I know the first article I read from Black Sports Online, they said that they had actually saw the documentary, but if there's anybody in this space that has got a chance to look at that documentary, please go ahead and let us know, because we would definitely all love to actually hear exactly about how this thing was and point out some of the actual highlights of the actual documentary, if we actually want to call it highlights. But go ahead, Diz. I'm sorry.
It'll be like low lights in this case, dealing with Candace Owens, but yeah, Kanye. Part of this is all for attention, right? I mean, I would say all of this is all for attention. He probably feels enlightened, like he's somewhat better or whatever, because of I guess his newfound intelligence or education that he got with Candace Owens. But the man's about to drop a damn album in about a week or two. Donda 2's coming out soon, so this is all for attention. And look. This man right here is lost. It's not mental health. It's not because of his mom died. All of us in here, we done lost loved ones. Especially if you black and you over the age of 40, you definitely lost someone close to you. One of your parents, both your parents, a sibling, an aunt, an uncle, grandma, something. So we all lose someone close to us, but we don't go out there and cooning up and wild out just like this loser. So his little excuse is just pathetic. So George Floyd, I mean, not George Floyd, but Kanye West, he can go ahead and just let this family sue him for all the money up in the world. Get him out the paint. But I'll go ahead and pass the mic.
Appreciate that, brother. You're right. I mean, if you got an album coming out, man, you done put out all kind of albums and everything else. You could generate attention and the buzz or whatever without just crapping on somebody or dead, man. So I get what you're saying on that part. That like, I mean, he's always been somebody that just love attention and loves to be the center of attention. But you don't even have to do this right here. And like I said, the whole thing that just perplexing is that a couple years ago, man, you reached, and I'm sure the family thought that was a generous thing you did by setting up the scholarship for the daughter and whatnot. So just why would you come back and just kick dirt on the person's grave or whatever? Like that's not even necessary. And Candace Owens, we know Candace Owens, the way that she's going to also stay relevant to white people in this country is by crapping on black people. She's got a role. She's that black. she's that black woman that's going to sit up here and tell the other white folks what they want to hear, that black people are just lazy and the reason that they haven't progressed in this country is their own doing. She's always got a position there. She's going to keep it. It's ironic that I think back in 2018 she also won some kind of suit or something about racism. I believe I have to take a look at that again. So somebody who constantly wants to sit up here and act like racism doesn't exist, when it was beneficial for her, she went ahead and she got paid from it. So these are the type of people that we deal with here in our community and whatnot. Somebody that sits up here and constantly tries to undermine us, but when they can get a dime, then she's all for it. Ray, I see you. I see your hand back up. Are you in the space?
Yeah, last thing I heard was about the George Floyd memorial in New Jersey, I think it was. Y'all talking about Minneapolis?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get caught back up. The only thing I was going to add was we have to be very careful about who they try to make as our martyrs, because you don't see them putting up any memorials to Malcolm X. You don't see them, putting up memorials to any of our other black leaders, but they'll do it for George Floyd. That's because they handpicked and they want to control the narrative. Like, obviously we're from the South, me and you news, I don't know who else might be, but I remember reading in the history books about how they actually try to put up Mammy monuments in the South right after slavery ended, because they were trying to paint the picture that black people actually wanted to be enslaved. But obviously the NAACP and all those cats, they jumped in and they blocked it. But yeah, that's all I wanted to add, is we have to be very careful about who we try to make as martyrs, because if they handpick the people that are supposed to represent us, we're always going to be shown in the bad light.
No, and I agree with that. And you best believe they'll never put up anybody like a Malcolm X or Elijah Muhammad. They'll never put anybody up of that type of character up there. Like I said, George Floyd, whether people, I know they want to bring up his criminal history or this and that or whatever, his death, we will have to say that his death was something that, that really just lit a fire under people, not only in this country, man. When people saw the actual protests taking place in the United States and they saw the actual uprising of black people getting pissed off and this and that, it took effect worldwide. You had people worldwide protesting, people just like you see now with the reparation claim. As it's picking up heat in this country, you got people all over the world. You got African nations, you got Caribbean nations. Hell, you got Poland sitting up here telling Germany that you owe us trillions of dollars in reparations for World War II. So the stuff that goes on in this country, a lot of the things that black people go ahead and they spearhead, globally, it has an impact on people's lives. I mean, we can't understate that whatsoever. The things that go on in the United States of America, it impacts people globally. When we talk about black people, we look at ourselves and we think that we're in this small little spot, but yeah, people are looking. People see the actions of black Americans and it motivates them. It puts the fire in their belly. So we have to always look at that. So even though, like I say, people will say that he was on drugs, he had charges, he had this, he had that, he tried to steal this, or he had a counterfeit bill and all this other nonsense or whatever. The simple fact of the matter was the man was murdered. It was caught on tape. He was begging for his life. The man sat up here and he murdered him. Other cops stood there, they watched. And when he did that, all hell broke loose. And just like in the 1960s, when we had everything going for us politically, when we had people, when the Democrats should have been eating out of our hands, instead they came and they sold us a bunch of bull again. We went in 2020. They started with the scare tactics of what's going to happen if you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't do this. Once again, we saw what transpired in the 1960s in the actual streets, because when Dr. King got killed, it was actual things. It was the riots and everything that was going on throughout the nation. It was North, South, East, West, Midwest that put the fear of God in people in this country. That people say, oh, hold on. These Negroes are crazy here. We got to go ahead and we got to do something. If we don't do something, we risk this nation seriously falling in danger. We got to do something. It was that action. People always talk about the legislation and the pen. Yeah. But sometimes the sword is greater than the pen. And people see people getting that work out there. They like, hold on for a minute. So as much as, like I say, we talk about George Floyd, and you're right, like I say, I would never put George Floyd on the level of these men that came before us. But George Floyd does, whether we like it or not, he does hold a place in history now because of the actual 2020 uprising. George Floyd became a worldwide figure, right or wrong. Just like Rodney King, but his let's be honest, his death, and Rodney King didn't die, but his death was actually greater in terms of the actual impact it had globally, not just on black people in this country, but globally. What it had, his death was huge. Like, I mean, we really can't understate that or whatever. Like, his death really was an eye opener for a lot of people in the world. A lot of people that thought the United States, because they elected Barack Obama, had got past their racial issues. Because, you know, I don't know exactly what news station they be watching in their country or whatever, but yeah, I'm pretty sure, you know, like anything else, it's a bunch of propaganda. But when they actually saw it, when they couldn't hide that, they like, oh Lord, like these black people still getting treated like crap over here. Like, we thought the 1960s was over with. We thought the 1990s, when LA was burning and stuff, was over with. But I guess it's not over with. I guess it's still hell over there. Reverend Tim, I see you. You got your hand up, brother. I'm gonna go ahead and let you unmute your mic. Reverend Tim, you there?
Yeah, give it a second. Twitter has just been really, really janky with the bug and delays. But just let me say this real quick. So how do we know that and this is something I always thought of and was thinking about when this situation was happening to George Floyd. Why wasn't Derek Chauvin also charged with vehicular homicide? Because my opinion was that they blaming it on the fentanyl caused his death. Why wasn't that we don't know if that police car was running, because his face was right next to the exhaust pipe. So if that car was running, he inhaling carbon monoxide and all types of exhaust fumes, along with whatever maybe already had been in the system.
Yeah.
And, you know, with the stress that he was under, can't breathe. You know, he having an asphyxiation problem because you got your fucking knee on his neck for over 9 minutes. But go ahead, Ray, go ahead.
No. Damn. Okay, cool. I thought it had cut off again. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. There was a narrative going around after the man died that, well, it wasn't because the knee was on the neck. It was because he was inhaling all those toxic fumes. And they was running with that woman. They was trying to spin that narrative. And then, like I said, I don't trust anybody at this point because, you know, how do we know that man was really on drugs? I mean, anything is possible. These people could have put drugs in this man's system, but it was, I don't know. Obviously, I don't want to speculate. No one sound like no damn Alex Jones conspiracy theorist, but anything they tell us, we have to kind of take it with a grain of salt because they look for any reason, you know, to try to vilify. And obviously, I want to say this to news real quick. Obviously, back in the 90s, we didn't have the technology we have now. But I believe if the Rodney King incident would have happened in 2022, that would have been just as big worldwide as what happened to George Floyd.
Just once, and I'm gonna kick it to you, Reverend Tim, and then I'm gonna give it to you, Secret Sister. And you're right, we didn't have the technology. There was no internet. There was definitely no social media. There was a bunch of different. We didn't even have the amount of cable stations that we have now. But I will say this: it was big in the country, but you know, because everybody in the country saw the actual Rodney King thing. It was big. It did make world news. It just didn't have the kind of impact. Because like I said, you had actual cities in 2020, 2021, you know, people was jacking police stations and stuff like that, man. So it was a level of different. It was just because people had saw the Rodney King situation before and it was like, okay, you know, this should be it. But you just constantly kept seeing stuff. And his was just a tip of the iceberg. You had just kept seeing this stuff over and over and over and over and over and over and over again that finally it hit a boiling point and people was like, okay, enough is enough. I've had enough. And we finna step up and do something. I'm gonna get back to you, Ray. Let's go to Reverend Tim because I saw you had some connection issues. Reverend Tim, go ahead and unmute your mic, brother.
Can you guys finally hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Hey, I just want to give you just a little update. Being here on ground zero with where everything happened as far as George Floyd goes. We don't consider George. I heard somebody said that looking at George as a martyr. We don't look at George as a martyr. We look at George as being the one. He was the one that helped us get these dirty police that we have here in Minnesota to finally get them exposed. It should have been Philando Castile. If we're going to make somebody a martyr and call somebody a martyr, that's who it should have been. But the news agencies here did a really good job of dirtying up Philando Castile, saying that he had marijuana in his system. And the way the white people here in Minnesota, heard somebody was saying how racist it is here. But the white people here in Minnesota ran with that and said it over and over and over. And they used that to make Philando look bad when this young kid was murdered. And no one really stepped up and did anything. We were screaming and yelling about it. So we look at Floyd as being the one who finally, we got one. And then, people are trying our best to even try to keep him up and make sure that everybody understands that what actually happened to him, because we're fighting that same stereotype with these people running around here saying, he didn't even have his knee on his neck. And what people like Candace Owens and now Kanye West do is have to fight harder to show that these cops are dirty. Candace Owens came here before. I've actually met her. I can send you a picture and show you. Me handed her my card and asking her to come to the Black community and meet the people that she uses to make dollars off of. She never showed up. That was in 2020 that she came here, and I met her. We have a Alpha News here is a right-wing political news little organization that sponsored Candace to come here and to do bidding in what she did. That little thing that she did is going to be shown right up the street here in this place called Champlin. They rented a venue, and all the right-wing people are going to go in there, and then they're going to come out of here with talking points that when we talk about George, we explain George to other people who come here from somewhere else. They can run up there and say, no, that's a lie. That it happened that way. I saw evidence. So that's what Candace is putting out here. We've got to understand how dangerous she is. I've said that over and over and over and over again. We've got to start talking about her. She is dangerous, and people need to understand that. She's dangerous to the Black community in so many ways, and we've let her go out here and preach this talk of saying there are no Black men in the Black community in the homes of these babies and things of that sort. We've let her get away with this stuff to the point now where she's doing what she's doing. So Derek Chauvin is going to be out in probably about 15 years. He got 22 years combined. It's what basically it came down to be. So in about 15 years, he'll be out to be able to move down to Florida, do whatever he's going to do, and then, live his life. And then we'll go on from there. Kim Potter, who killed Dante Wright, is going to be out in a few more. Also, she'll be out in a few years. She's the one that mistaked her gun for her taser, shot the young boy in the back, murdering him. So she got just a slap on the wrist. So she'll be out too. So that's what we're dealing with here, trying to keep the noise down and keep these people up and going. So no, George is not a martyr. We look at it saying George is the one. So I'll land my plane there.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Secret Sister, unmute your mic.
I have to say the red,
You there? Secret Sister, are you there?
Hey, News, I was just going to say real quick, the Twitter space, they on 100 tonight, man. It's bad.
Yeah, it's pretty jacked up. We'll come back to Secret Sister. I see she's having some issues, so let me move on to Insane. Insane, go ahead and unmute your mic, and we'll get back to the sister when she gets everything squared away.
Hey, what's happening, Toter?
What's up?
Ray and Kite, how you doing? This thing here, it's very complex. It's some sentiments and things were said about the man and that should not have been said. However, the upshot is that his name is back out there, and quite possibly it is an opportunity to seize it. And as I understand, the George Floyd Policing Bill Act failed in the Senate. Correct? Is that correct? What's the update on that?
It hasn't passed yet. I know that. I mean, I don't hear the Democrats really talking about it no more either. So
Right. So
Republicans blocked it.
yeah. So now it is back in the media. Is there an opportunity to seize the moment and put it back out there, to spin it around and say, hey, what about that George Floyd Policing Act? Now his name is back out here in the media. Kanye, should not have said those things. But on the other hand, this man's name is back out there in front of us, and pretty much in front of the whole nation, based on where it emerged from, these disparaging comments that Kanye made. So, is there an opportunity to push the George Floyd Policing Bill Act once again, is the question that I am pondering now that it's back. His name is back in the national media. That's something I'm pondering, and if so, how do we do that? How do we start the George Floyd Policing Bill Act trending again? How do we do that now that it's an opportune moment, that his name is back out there in front of us? Is that something that we should even be entertaining? And I'll land with that. Pastor Tim, I gotta send you an email message because I have some questions for you that I think you could offer some insight on. I would like to try and message you later on. Thanks. I'll land there.
thank you, brother. And that's definitely something that maybe with all of this, that's something that can actually get pushed back up into the actual into the spotlight, the actual George Floyd policing bill. Like I said, you don't hear anything about it. Even if it got blocked, I don't hear Democrats still steadily trying to drum up support for it. So we'll
Right.
let me because Secret Sister just got back in. So let me get the Secret Sister. We'll go to Black Pressure and we'll go to Sir Major. Then we'll go to you, Shepherd. I see you just put your hand up as well too. So Secret Sister, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. I had did a space breaking all this down from the level I'm at. I broke it down. I think did a pretty good job. What you see is not always what you get. We got to also pay attention to the platform that he was on. It is a tether platform. If you notice, Nori would not let him say that word, that culture word. You know who we are, the original of, but that word. You know what I'm saying? He kept saying, no, but we love them. No, don't say that, but we love them. And my thing is, and then he said, people have this theory where Kanye is with Candace because of the app. Her husband has an app. Candace's husband doesn't touch the money that this man has anymore. He is now a billionaire. He has fuck you money. So now he's actually telling people fuck them. And it's hard for people to see this, but where Kanye went wrong is he's been so far removed from us that he don't realize we don't need breadcrumbs anymore for us to know what he's talking about. All you have to do is drop a gem. We catch it. You get what I mean? And he done a little too much. Like like for instance, when he did the White Lives Matter shirt beside Candace, you realize both of them have white spouses. So, of course, white lives matter to them. But what he was more so saying is white lives matter. We, as a Black community, were supposed to automatically know that Black lives matter because he's a Black man. This is what I'm just going from a thought process of the way he's thinking. Okay, Black lives matter, okay? And then, but who is taping it? What cultural media people are taping it? He's pretty much saying to them, but fuck you. Black lives, white lives, but fuck you. So when we seen him on Nori, what is it, N-O-R-E or Nori's platform, the first thing I noticed is Nori would not allow him, even though he said you could be you, he would not allow him to go that far, even though there were 4 Jews sitting right there, oops, 4 in the audience. You know what I mean? He even came up and said, I love you, you're my homie, however it goes. Then you got to remember he had on the black hat with 2024, right? When he had the black hat on with 2024 and the white Cuban kept saying, are you running? Of course, he can't say he's running right now because of the time thingy. Well, if Trump asked you to be his, if Trump asks you to be your I'm gonna kill some major. If Trump asks you to be your what is that, vice president, would you do it? He giggled and then he did that, but if you notice, he kept putting his head down. Like we were supposed to take cues from all the little signals he was given, like the Black Hat with 2024. I don't know if him and Trump got it, but I do know one thing he said that was prolific. It was profound to me. Ice Cube is I never heard him say it. He made sure we knew Ice Cube is his mentor. Ice Cube is his mentor. And I know that if he did get in, and if Ice Cube is his mentor like that, then those borders will be shut. That is something we need. And reparations might just get passed straight. And on that, I'm going to yield before I choke Sir Major up.
All right, thank you, sister. Let's go to Black Pressure real quick. Black Pressure, Sir Major, then Shepherd.
So I want to say what's up to the Black family. Like always, respect to the whole solid cause. I'm mad at Secret Sister because she took my talking point, but I'm gonna kind of build off what she said. I don't think we should let Nori escape the fire either. And for the reason being, if you go back to his Drink Champs, where he interviewed Rizza Islam, he was candid and he was open. He was actually defiant about him saying how he turned down the bag from when they were going to start Drink Champs. He turned down the bag from iHeartRadio, from iTunes, from Spotify, and he was saying, they wanted to drop us big bags. He said we wanted to build our own brand. We did it for the culture, so we said we started on our own at the bottom. And the minute he found himself in the pressure cooker, he folded and took the interview down with Kanye. So I look back and say, hey, you might as well sign with all those other guys. And I'm like Secret Sister says, I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories and prison babble, but we know who controls. We know who controls Nori, and I'll move on from that. But also, too, News, you made a great observation. I'm going to build on that, too, about how the George Floyd incident, how it received all this international coverage and you know, how that, you know, fueled a lot of the protests and things like that. Well, if you go back to the civil rights generation with our elder, Dr. Martin Luther King, what a lot of people don't know about that is the international coverage that got, how the different countries in China, there were actually different countries and different European countries. Those images you can Google with our four parents getting blasted with water hoses and mauled by German shepherds. Those countries actually put those images on the front of their newspapers. So that civil rights movement that we had, in the mid 20th centuries, the international coverage also, that it fueled that also. And I'll say one more thing, and I'll land. If you go back and watch The Equalizer 2, Denzel had one of the most iconic lines in movie history when he told that dude, there were two kinds of pain, the pain that hurts and the pain that alters. Black people, we actually have the power to make Kanye feel that pain, because once again, I go back to our great elder, Dr. Martin Luther King during the Civil Rights Movement. One of the ways he utilized that pain that alters is when we refused to take the bus and we walked everywhere for a year. They had to yield to that. So, said just some food for thought on that, but I'll land my plane and listen to everybody else.
Appreciate it, brother. Appreciate it. Sir Major, go ahead and unmute your mic.
All right, appreciate it. Shout outs to Newstoter for the space. You've been on top of it. Shout out to that.
I'm going to hurt you, Sir Major.
I ain't do nothing. Shout out to all my people in the building, all my day ones. You know what I'm saying? We in the building. I want to first thank the Academy, the guy who's at the head of my life. No, do we blame the new black media for this shit? I'm joking. Security trial. All right, let me stop joking. Listen, I think that Rev talked about something that was very important, and I think a lot of people missed it. When Candace Owens was brought up, I knew some fuckery was around the corner when we saw that the two T-shirts, Black Lives Matter, White Lives Matter, whatever, I'm sorry, they both were White Lives Matter. I said those two are working on something. Whenever you see Kanye West and Candace Owens, they're plotting on some shit. The other thing, do we hold her accountable for exploiting the mentally ill? That needs to be the conversation. Was Candace Owens, or why was Candace Owens exploiting the mentally ill? First of all, y'all know that Nori is not a black American. We've already established that. Candace Owens is not a black American. Kanye West is. I think both of them, Candace Owens and Nori, exploited Kanye West, a black American, right? Notice how all of a sudden he's considering on purchasing Parler, okay, which is an anti-black racist website. Okay, so I think there needs to be some focus on going after the sponsors of Drink Champs. I think that if we're going to really do this, we need to do it from a holistic approach and do it in the most strategic way. Revolt TV has a deal with them, all right? And so the conversation needs to be going at Revolt as well. That is a brand, that's a black brand that has a partnership with a white guy, but they have money. And when you start going after the brand has no choice but to fold. The reason why the interview was taken down is because black people was pissed the fuck off about something that mattered most to us, and that was George Floyd. I don't give a damn how anybody think of George Floyd. That's one brother you just don't speak on. You can't speak on that brother in vain. You can't talk about Breonna Taylor in vain. I was telling one of my brothers, DJ L, DJ L is one of my close player partners. That's one of my homies in real life. And L came in my room, right, because I had space about the same topic. And L made I'm not going to say what he said, but he made an unflattering remark about George Floyd. And if he was not my friend, I would have tried to get him canceled and being the producer he is. I would have led the charge to getting him canceled. And I didn't say anything once he said the disrespectful remark, because I'm like opening baffled. Like, this motherfucker know who I am. Does he realize this is my room? And other people have got on his ass, and he kind of disregarded them. So when it was my turn to speak, I had to collect my thoughts on how I was going to, deal with it. Because this was a matter of ending a friendship. You disrespect George Floyd, it's fuck you. So I let him know that in certain terms, disrespecting George Floyd would not ever be tolerated. On top of that, There are activists like myself who have endured a lot of trauma, racial trauma, and post-traumatic slave syndrome off of the death of George Floyd. And I said, too, based on your fucking comment, I got to go see my therapist. Understand when you disrespect people like George Floyd and things like that, things that have affected many of our lives. Some of us are bold enough to talk about it. Others don't talk about it, right? Because we want to have this perceived notion that we're tough and we can handle it. Disrespecting George Floyd cannot ever be tolerated, right? There's many of us that protested over this, that have put so much energy and time into avenging his death and getting justice and accountability, right? So the fact that Kanye West, someone who I loved and respected, because I love this music. I think College Dropout was one of his best bodies of work. But when you repeatedly see different things that show that he's not well, I think by continuously to support Kanye West is to finance our own oppression. Kanye West is being used as a tool of white supremacy, whether it's voluntarily or involuntarily, or whether it's due to mental health or whatever. He just don't care to recognize it. That's not a question. The fact is, it's happening, and what we need to do is make sure that we're not financing the disrespect of Black Americans. I'll end there. Thank you. Oh, by the way, the moment this interview got aired, the moment that shit got leaked, because DJ L told me 3 weeks ago that 2 weeks ago that Kanye West had an inflammatory DJ L is an insider. He's a music head. He's an insider. He's a top producer. He does a lot of drill rap music. So he told me this shit was going to happen before it happened. And I said I would just have to wait and see. And when this shit came out, I immediately text Benjamin Krupp, personal friend of mine, and I did not think the text would be there. He also represents that family. I'm glad Kanye West is being sued. He's not the only one that needs to be sued. Candace Owens needs to be sued. Dream Champs needs to be sued. Revolt needs to be sued. And Nori needs to be sued personally. So they all need to be held accountable. And I'll end there. Thank you.
Appreciate it, sir, Major. That's a lot of lawsuits to go around. Now, I tell you that much right there. Let me go ahead and kick it to Miss D, because we had Shepard. He was supposed to be next, but Shepard he went down to listener. So let me go ahead and kick it to I'm gonna kick it to Miss D. I'm gonna get our new speakers on Miss D, Minx, and the black text, and then we're gonna get back to everybody else. But Miss D, sister, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, sister?
I just wanted to tell Secret Sister to look in her DM, because I sent her the documentary to put in the Jumbotron because I don't know how.
Oh, that's what you were saying. Sis, I don't know how to do that.
Because I couldn't send it to News Product because I don't see no envelope to send it to him.
I think I know how. DJ did teach me. Let me see if I can do it.
Miss D, I just
I'm about to fail you on your lesson, sis.
Miss D, I just followed you, and it's pending. So whenever you get a chance, you can go ahead and accept it, and then we'll be following each other. So if you want to DM me something, then that way. And the best way to do it, y'all, is to go ahead. If you have something, go ahead and tweet it out. And then if you go ahead and tweet it out, then you can go ahead and bookmark it. You can send it right to the space, and that'll make it easy. So if you become a speaker, if you tweet something out, just go ahead and bookmark it, and it'll say you could send it right to the Newstoter space once you become a speaker.
Okay, well, I'm gonna send it to you right now as soon as I accept it. If Secret Sister can't do it,
no problem, sister.
Should be an envelope on my page right there, Miss D. It's DJ right here, WPR.
Huh?
I said it should be on my page right there, the envelope when it's in the DM. That means the DM is open. Some people don't have their DM open because some folks don't follow each other or whatever the reason be, but you can send it to me, my DM open.
Okay.
All right. Is there anything else you want to add, sister, or that was just pretty much it?
No, that was it. I heard you ask for it, and I knew I had it earlier, so I was just getting up text her to check it because I had sent it to her so you could have it up in the Jumbotron. That was it.
Okay, no.
I'm gonna drop it. You can drop me back down.
No problem, sis. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Goodbye.
I'm in.
Oh, sister was as I was dropping it down, sounded like she was trying to get something out. Let me just go ahead and say, everybody, the actual links to the YouTube and the newsletter is up there in the Jumbotron. Please go ahead and subscribe to the Newstoter YouTube channel. Also, subscribe to the newsletter. Both of them are free. Support Newstoter.com, the largest curator of Black news a day in America, the largest Black-owned news curation platform today in America. You can support us on Venmo, PayPal, or Cash App. The Cash App is $Newstoter. Let me repeat that again. That is $Newstoter. One more time. That is $Newstoter. Let me go ahead and kick it to you, Minx. I'm gonna kick it to you, Minx, and then I'm gonna go to the Black Texan. So, Minx, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hi. Good evening, everybody. I watched the. Oh, thank you for having me. I did watch the documentary today. And I don't know if someone came up already because I was on the road. I was trying to get to the next city. So I may have missed something going in and out, but I did watch it. It makes me cringe to hear her and even see Candace. But I had to watch it because I said, let me just see what's going on, because I did see the Nori Kanye thing too the day before. So let me watch this one too, because I want to be, just get everything. So I got it. I watched it, and let me go back. Kanye, what he said about, George Floyd saying that they were looking for a 6'6" guy like him. They'd be going after someone like him. He didn't finish his thought. I think he got that wrong. In the documentary, Candace was talking to his roommate, George Floyd's roommate, and she said there was a time before that incident that he said, I complied, do what the cops told me to do, because I know they would be looking for a big 6'6" dude like me. And that's what was said in the documentary. I don't know what Kanye was talking about, how he was trying to, I don't know. So anyway, what struck me was she brought up his criminal history, Mr. Floyd's criminal history. She interviewed the other, she tried to talk to Chauvin's mother and him, but they wouldn't talk to her because they're appealing. She did talk to, again, the roommates, and they were saying that they never, in the 6 years that George Floyd was there, they never met any of his family members. Kanye also, I'm going back and forth because I'm going to go back to what Kanye said in that interview and what was said in this documentary. And I'm not in any way, Kanye, I don't know what's going on with him. The brother was murdered in front of us, and that was horrible. So that's where I stand. But now the roommates were saying that a lot. Then when they went back about the mother, when Kanye started talking about when he was calling for his mother, he said, "Oh, he wasn't calling for his mother; he was calling for his girlfriend." Well, they went back to the court video. And it was his girlfriend, George Floyd's girlfriend. And I guess the Chauvin's lawyer asked her, what did he call you? And she said, mama. So that's where Kanye is getting, oh, he wasn't calling for his mother. He was calling for her because he called her mama, his girlfriend. So you got to watch both of those to kind of one before the other to kind of bring it all in. She did have a lot of receipts on the Black Lives Matter organization. She did. It was a lot, and she called a lot of people. She went through with, how much money was given to this organization and what type of organizations they were. And none of them were like any inner city thing or anything like that. It was all like transgender, LGBT, all that kind of stuff. All of them were, except for her brother and her child's father. But she went through that with a fine-tooth comb, to make her point. I didn't care for her interviewing another cop, and she did have like some other forensics people when they were talking about the fentanyl and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, well, it's already been, in the courts, it's already been said that the brother was killed by this man in on his neck. And I guess she tried to tie that in there. But that's kind of what I got from what got me, I think, the most was all those receipts from Black Lives Matter. They gonna have to. I know people were saying that they've already said where the money went. After people see this, whether you believe it or not, they're gonna have to come back and make sure that they have a rebuttal, because if not, it's making them look real bad, really bad. It's terrible what she said about George Floyd. She needs to be sued, and so does the Daily News Wire, or Daily Wire News. It was those two, her and the Daily Wire, that did this together. So that's pretty much what I got from it, and I'm gonna land my little plane. Thank you.
Hey, Newstoter, I just wanted to let you know. I think I did it, DJ. Look up in the divot. I think I did it.
Okay, let me go ahead real quick, and let me go ahead and I appreciate that, sister, and like I said, I wouldn't have an issue if she just went on the Black Lives Matter thing, but it's no point to actually try to tie both of them together. So we already know, we've already heard about the actual receipts with Black Lives Matter, how they've been taking they taking money and this and that and not doing what they're supposed to do. We've heard that kind of talk before. It's just the entire thing that you're going to tie this man's death into it is where people having a little issue with it. I know I had an issue with it myself. So, but I appreciate the analysis that you just broke it down with as well too. So thank you once again for that. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna kick it to we're gonna go to Black Texan. We're gonna go to Shepherd because we're trying to get our new speakers in. We're gonna go to Najee. So Black Texan, go ahead and unmute your mic. Then we go on to Shepherd. Then we go on to Najee. Then we're gonna get back to our regular speakers with their hands up as well too.
Hey, Sicky Sister, check your notification for your messages or whatever. Okay, go ahead. Whoever was talking.
Thank you for having me up here. Thank you for the platform. I appreciate you. I thank everybody for being a part of the room. First and foremost, I want to say that a lot of people have been triggered by this situation. Now, specifically talking about the Kanye West interview with Nori on Drink Champs. It's like 70% of Black people that are triggered, and 30% of people. These are the approximate numbers, not factual. That kind of see through a lot of things going on with the whole debacle. A lot of other people are also triggered by the fact, with Candace Owens, but I don't know if they're realizing that he's reaching out to any and everybody that he can. That seems they're going in the same direction, maybe not the same route, but the same highway, the same general direction. So there's a lot of moving parts here. But I will say that I don't think that it will benefit the Black community that we're targeting Black organizations that are actually benefiting and helping and targeting, to make better the Black community, like for example, because they're in association with someone with Drink Champs. I think that a lot of people also have not even really taken time to let alone see the entire interview and then process it like they should. If they saw the entire interview, the segment where Kanye West or Ye was talking about George Floyd was extremely short, and he was not able to finish his point. That's number one. Obviously, they were inebriated as well. Not to say that's an excuse, but that's a fact that you can't ignore. And as far as the suit goes, that will be closer to related to, because I heard somebody say something about he's an agent of white supremacy, which means everything is actually the opposite of what a white supremacist would do. So he has his own voice. A lot of people are upset because he doesn't identify with their standpoints or talking points, things like that, or he's not the same. He's not in the same thought process as a lot of African American, Black, FBA, our people. So they have a problem with that, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And so to go after people's ability to have free speech is a huge issue, and one that we need not to neglect because we're triggered. Because if we do that, you already have the UN working to silence people that they consider to have conspiracy theories. One can suggest and say that a lot of the conversations that we have about the white supremacy situation that we deal with on an everyday basis could be considered as conspiracy theory. And so we have to be super careful trying to, go along with this cancel culture because it's not really healthy for any type of culture, any type of, growth. And that you're just removing people from a visible standpoint, but they're still there. They don't go away. So I think that's really important to understand. It's a lot of speculation going on, and I'm working hard to stay close to the facts. There's no speculation coming from me at this moment, other than this one I'm getting ready to say now. So when it comes down to the suit is a money grab. When I say the suit, I mean a $250 million suit. That's a money grab. That's not, yes, you could probably feel some kind of way about the fact that your son's name was mentioned. I'm specifically talking about not Candace Owens when she did her documentary. Why not sue Candace Owens when that happened? So, that's a money grab situation. That's an opportunist situation. $250,000. You got counseling, and it's not necessarily the family that initiated that, right? It could be like, okay, there is a law firm or lawyers that we recently dealt with. They're suggesting that this might be a great action for us to go for, but understand that they're looking for their convention. They're looking for that win so they can get their palms read, not because they're caring about the family. So, I would like to see the Black community be a lot more methodical in the thought process when discussing things like this, because we're just a lot of us are just operating off of the fact that we're triggered, not realizing that the industry or the United States, the industry in the United States have realized that triggering people is widely lethal, and then you get a lot of eyes on him. It seems more plausible to me that a lot of the comments that was made during Drake Council so that people put all eyes on Kanye because he's pretty much been banned and shadow banned. No one can see, hear, and what he's doing. He literally said, you're willing to give me a platform, that's why I'm here. And then he went on after the interview to purchase his own social media site, social media geared towards one type of people or another. This person will go and own and get the infrastructure. He can gut it and make it wherever he wants to make it. So it doesn't matter what the roots are.
Let me ask you a question here, brother, because I know you're kind of going on, and I don't mind that or whatever, but I have to make this point here. So when he says that George Floyd died because of the fentanyl, basically, and he had pre-existing conditions, what do you make of that?
Well, when he said that, he actually said he's quoting the documentary. He didn't say this is my own personal opinion. And that's something that I think has been missed as well. Like I remember hearing, because I watched the entire documentary the night that moment that it came out. And so he didn't say, okay, well, this happened. Just like a lot of people like us, we'll be like, okay, well, this is what was said. Not that I believe that that's the case.
But I mean, but not to cut you off, brother, but it's a factual thing that, you had the coroner, the medical examiners, and everybody else said that the man died because he couldn't breathe. Yeah, he had traces of fentanyl in his system, but that's not what killed him. He died because he could not breathe. So I know what her documentary said, but I'm saying Kanye's supposed to be an intelligent person himself. He knows, we all know, we saw it, we all saw the video. We know what the medical examiners rule. We know what the coroner rule and whatnot. So what's the point of saying something about a documentary when you yourself know for a fact that it's not true? What's the point of repeating that? Like, I mean, we already know, he's talking about the fentanyl and this and that or whatever, but the fentanyl that he had in his system wasn't why he died. He died because, and then he said that the man didn't really have his foot on his neck, his knee on his neck.
Yeah, that was a little bit, but also Joe Brown just said recently too.
Well, I never heard Joe. I have to be honest. I've never heard Joe Brown say that, brother. But I'm saying we have heard Kanye actually say that. Kanye. Kanye actually sat up here and said that the man had fentanyl in his system, and he had pre-existing conditions and this and that. I mean, if he didn't believe that to be a case at the so, he wouldn't have said that. So obviously,
No. We're drawing conclusions right now.
brother. Well, hold on, brother. We're not drawing conclusions. The man said that. I mean, he could talk about Hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second, brother. I'm gonna let you finish, but hold on. The man said that if Kanye didn't, he could say, well, Candace Owens said in her documentary that this is what happened, that he had fentanyl in his system and it wasn't really a foot on the neck. But we know the medical examiner and the coroner ruled something different. He could have said that, but he didn't. So I'll go ahead and I'll let you finish. I'll go ahead and I'll give you 56 seconds to go ahead and land your plane.
Appreciate it. Well, so like I was saying, so if you heard his speech pattern, so like when this guy was talking, it was a lot of things he was saying. He was having to go back and break himself. He didn't even finish his thought process in general throughout the whole. It was a little hard to follow him in general throughout the entire conversation. It was a 3-hour-long conversation. So I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not defending everything he said. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm trying to convey. I'm not defending any of that. What I'm doing is I'm saying, okay, well, clearly, this guy he was working to build something based off the words that he used. Not that he could have thought something or inferred something. I think he's intelligent. This is just what he said. And so, yes, he said a lot of things in the interview that's disappointing for sure. However, we aren't the thought process. There's so many times where myself, I'm gonna use myself as an example. I may have said something that was off twisted that would not be okay, but it's not 1,000 and million people looking at me. And all that pressure coming in. I do say it because everyone in the room has had that situation. But again, I don't understand the level of anger when we're trying to attack something a lot bigger, which is the level of control that's over the Black community. That was the prime conversation piece. But at this moment, I'm going to land the plane and also say that I respect everyone's opinion on this topic. And I'm not upset about any of it as well. But I do thank you for allowing me to have the opportunity to speak with you.
No problem, brother. And if you want to stick around the room and raise your hand back up, no issue. You know what I'm saying? Just as a host, I just kind of wanted to actually get in the conversation with you as well, too. So there's no ill will or bad feelings like that. Whatever, you're entitled to your opinion. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel. I don't have any issue with you. So, I mean, you say what you want to say up in the Newstoter space, man. We give you the mic and we let people go ahead and flow. And speaking of letting people get up on the mic and flow, we have another fella up in here that y'all all know has his hands up. We got Shepard up in the spot, so this should be interesting. What's up, Ray?
Ray, before you even speak, I had wound up getting a phone call when you and I was saying about the exhaust thing. Could you just repeat real quick and then go ahead and say what you was gonna say?
Say it one more time. I
had wound up getting a phone call. I wound up getting a phone call when we was talking about exhaust situations. So I missed maybe about 20 minutes of the show, yo. So just repeat real quick for context. You know what I mean?
No, just really quick. I was agreeing with what you said because I had mentioned, I don't know if you're in the space yet, that there was a narrative that was going around that said that George Floyd didn't actually die because that policeman had his knee on his neck. He said that while he was down there, he was inhaling exhaust fumes, and that's actually killed him, which is obviously a crock of shit. But that's what was said. I was just gonna ask Black Text. I know everybody. I want to get out the way real quick. What did Judge Joe Brown say one more time? I missed that.
Judge Joe Brown. I think it was today. It came out. It was today or last night. I was looking at it. He was talking to 2 interviewers, and they were asking what he feels about the state of everything right now. And he specifically spoke about Kanye. And he was saying that the George Floyd situation. He was saying that he was trained, and that it would take much more than someone. Again, this is not my words, okay? I'm just a messenger. He said it would take much more pressure on someone's back more than their neck, the respiratory system, so they wouldn't be able to breathe. He said if you put in a situation like the guy had his knee over the guy's neck, it would stop blood flow from the body to the head. It would just leave you with a headache, not cause you to stop being able to breathe. He said that the added element of something possibly like fentanyl would increase your chances of having a respiratory issue. This was an interview that was online. I think it might be seen on YouTube. It was brand new. It just came out like that time stuff was new. But that's what Judge Joe Brown was discussing with these two interviewees. So you guys can try to find that out. It's online somewhere.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Appreciate that, brother. Let us get back to some of the speakers in here. We got Shepard and we got Najee next. Shepard, go ahead and unmute your mic. Yo, what's up?
What up, Shepard? What up, Shepard? I was supposed to say what's up. What's up, son? Mm-hmm.
Hey, news, kick Shepard out the room.
Shepard might be having some issues with his mic because he was on and.
No, we here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know.
What up, son?
Hey, what's good, man? Who said kick me out the room, man? Let's squabble, man. I want to squabble.
Man, you know me, Black Fresh, can say kick you out.
I want to squabble with you. Let's step out back, son.
What's up, Sam?
I'm good, man. I love the pressure, you know. All right, let me put pots and pans on the stove, man. I heard a lot of people speak, and this is a touchy ass subject. So I'm gonna leave Kanye to the last part. I want to talk about George Floyd without Kanye for a minute, and I want to talk about something that really pissed me off. That every time this subject is come to mind, this shit fucks with my head. 9 people of all different races and stood. One cop who didn't have his gun out, didn't even have a taser or baton in his hand, let one cop stop them from stopping the other cop from killing this man. We gotta break this cycle of letting these police do whatever the fuck they want. I'm of the mindset, why the fuck is everybody scared to take a fucking charge? Take a fucking charge, save a fucking life. This is where we need to be at. We've seen this same scenario play out over and over and over again. And thank God for the motherfucking camera, phone, and everybody recording. We need that too. But at this point, if you're a black man, woman, teenager, and we willing to go at each other's necks sometimes in the street, and even on these Twitter spaces to be these tough guys, then why the fuck won't you just take a fucking rowdy charge? Why don't you just take the fucking charge? Tackle a fucking police. You're going to get a charge. Yes, you are. But once you fucking take that charge and you'll get help from the community, all this money that's being siphoned out to the community by Black Lives Matter and other people, there's people that will donate to you. They will help you if you don't have the money. But we cannot let these police keep just killing us. This is the reason why we keep being killed. We keep not fighting back. And that's just one aspect I just wanted to drill into everybody's mind. If I was ever presented with that scenario of a cop with no gun pointed at me, even if a taser was pointed at me, I think I'd take the tase. I'm just saying, like, how for 9 minutes? You know how long y'all won't even let me speak for 9 minutes in the debate. So how the fuck do people stand around for 9 minutes and let another black man with spit is coming out his mouth and he drooling, he's calling for his mother? How is you as a human being gonna let that occur? So that really always bothered me, man. So moving on from that little point of it, we in a trick bag, man. This whole shit, again, I'm not talking about Kanye right now. I'm talking about the riots. We caused, rightfully so, over $2 billion worth of damage. Primarily in the city where the Rev was talking about, and primarily, in the areas closest to the shit. And we let these grifters come in and siphon every bit of mutual aid that was supposed to go back into the community. And they don't face no repercussions. They out partying in Hollywood. They out in a mansion. Nobody's in front of their house. Nobody is like putting pressure on them. We got a problem in the black community where right now, no one is afraid of us. And I'm a black nationalist, so I believe in fear as a tool. I believe in intimidation as a tool, in violence as a tool. I believe in an eye for an eye. I believe in that, like wholeheartedly. So my problem with us right now, all of us, right, except for the people that's willing to get down, is why
are we continuing to be at each other's neck? And they see us at each other's neck, and we ain't at their neck the same way. Police supposed to fear doing something to us. I hate to go back to the Black Panther Party, but I always got to go back to my heritage. Like, the police was actually scared to hurt people in the community at a certain point. And we got to get back to that. And we got to get our soldiers, man. When I was in Baltimore for the Freddie Gray shit, I told you this before, I think. It was the teenagers that set it up, right? I ain't throw a rock, right? I'm thinking about what I got to lose, even me too. But once the teenagers set it up, and I saw that there was some people that was willing to soldier, then everybody got it. My shit motivated me. And motivated every other adult. I was watching everybody else get amped up like, damn, if our kids could set it, why we can't set it? So let's set it. And that's what we did. So I'm just saying this part of the conversation, I know it's Kanye, Candace Owens, George Floyd, but our collective backbone, we got to stand up just a little bit straighter, and we got to stand back to back with each other, not back, hand to throat on each other's throats all the time. So, Candace Owens, fuck that bitch, man. What the fuck are we doing? She another one need to be afraid. They just have no fear of doing this type shit. So, cause Democrats is not going to do this type of oppositional research, and we don't have a platform like Revolt, to do this type of shit she did for the documentary to really expose these motherfuckers in Black Lives Matter. The work she did is necessary, but that should have been our work. We don't have the disposable income and the equipment and the time. We on our grinds and everything. Everybody ain't retired to do this shit and the finance. So I think a big part of why we don't come together is the capital. I don't think collectively we have the money to do the things that some of these white people is doing to expose Black Lives Matter. So we got to figure out funding and capital ourselves. We got to figure out who are the black venture capitalists, who do they donate to? How do we get into their queue? How do we present a business plan to them that's about activism and about our communities, but also is about justice so that some of us could do some of this work in the new black media, as y'all call yourselves. Lastly, Bain Capital is owned by Mitt Romney. This motherfucker owns all of the platforms for all of the media that you hear for black media and for white media in a lot of these markets. Bain Capital owns and controls Clear Channel. That means he controls Rush Limbaugh voice, Glenn Beck voice, Sean Hannity voice, Michael Savage voice. That's just the right wing he controls. But he also controls all of the hip hop that's so dangerous and poisoning our children to be on rampages like demons. He owns that side of it too. So they own both sides of capital that controls our media. We need to figure out how to balance that in the new black media. How do we get venture capitalists just for our own story? Now, you ask, why did I mention that? Why is that so important? Well, in Mississippi, the police just shot and they killed this 15-year-old kid, Jaheim McMillan. And then they went into Family Dollar and erased the videotape of him being killed. Then they went to social media and got his family banned from social media so they couldn't tell the story. Then they went to the witnesses and intimidated them. We all we got as far as media, right? They shot this boy 8 times, much of the bullets in his head. He came out with his hands up. Every time there's a story about George Floyd, Michael, whoever you want to name, Freddie Gray, they always are able to spin the narrative. And they always control all of the media on both sides. Now, when it comes to Kanye and his comments about the Jews, I'll land with this. Did he lie? No. Fuck Kanye, first of all. He's mentally ill. This nigga's he's a fucking mentally ill, deranged billionaire, right? Like, that's the facts of it. It ain't no other way. Fuck him. We can't use him anymore, right? You do shit like this, there gotta be some type of consequences and repercussions. You can't keep dipping in and out of the fucking media. But then let's look at the media. The media is controlling what we hear and see from Kanye. So you got Revolt, right, who's owned
by another company, right? That's white owned, Jewish owned, right? You got Universal Music, that's Dutch owned, right? That's a Dutch Jewish owned company.
So you know, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I just want to know, like you mentioned it. So
I do, but I forgot because I was in my flow. But I would have named it. I forgot. But it's owned by Comcast, I think.
An Indian lady. Yeah, for the most part, yeah, it's an Indian lady. I can't think of her name.
Right.
So we're still on it. She just run it. So Diddy's really not the owner.
I'm talking about the owner. But all of these companies, if you trace them back, right? Universal, that's a Dutch-owned company, French-Dutch-owned company, French-Dutch Jewish-owned company. They could trace their shit back to the Rothschilds in France. That's how long they've been in power and controlling media worldwide. This is Dutch. These are the people that cut off the Belgium, and these motherfuckers who cut off Africans' arms. These motherfuckers own us and own our media. So the new black media is super important at this stage in the game. And the shit that Newstoter is doing is super important. And this shit, having our voice taken from us and having these social media accounts shut down is with this McMillan kid in Mississippi. And then in Kansas City, they just did the same fucking thing. The police just said that all the activists in Kansas City was lying and there was no serial killer until one of the victims bust out the house and said, yeah, I've been held in this house. There is a fucking serial killer. So that media shit is deep, yo. But at the same time, check this out. The media also makes our activists. D-Ray, Black Lives Matter, they push my man, they murdered Darren Seals out the spotlight and put these imposters in. The media is why we have all of these heroes that ain't heroes. So we got a fucked up situation with the media either way. Fucking what's the name had a fake $20 bill? Mike Brown stole something. They put these narratives out, but who carrying the narrative? The media is. So we in a trick bag, man. If we can't tell our own story, the story of the hunter is told by the hunter, not the lion. So that's all I got to say.
Everybody thought against Trump towards Kanye.
Great point. I don't know who's speaking, but 1 second. Yeah, raise your hand, brother. Great point you made there, Shepard. Everything you said was on point. I know people say Kanye's mentally ill or whatever. I guess so. I think Kanye also loves being the center of attention. He's always loved being the center of attention. He's always cried and stuff if he couldn't get his way, almost like a child or whatever. So, but I agree with everything you said there. That's why it is important to support the black media and whatnot. But you're right, these powerful media outlets and stuff, every time there's a killing, every time there's an incident, it's always this person is a criminal, this person's this person's that. When these white boys go out there and they murder 50 people, then the first thing they do is go to social media. They start erasing all of their accounts and this and that, all the racist stuff they were saying. They started trying to seal their records up. Everything you could think of to protect them, they go ahead and they do that as soon as they can. So I'm in total agreement with what you said, brother. Like Candace Owens, never had any use for her. I don't have any use for Kanye West either. And like you said, all of these other media outlets and stuff that pretty much, spew all this negativity about us, and also Black Lives Matter as well too. Like I said, we didn't need Candace Owens to tell us that because we've been hearing these reports for months about Black Lives Matter and the $80 to $90 million they got, how it didn't go. We've heard the family members of the people that got killed and stuff that they like to put on the t-shirts and promote and flyers and this and that. Didn't give them one single dime. They should have been given it. The families should have been taken care of for their family members being pretty much marketed and promoted and stuff, their deaths and whatnot. They have all of this negativity, especially towards black men. Yet whenever a black man gets killed, you want to go ahead and you want to promote it and this and that. You're getting funding from all these corporations. You're not sticking that money back in the black neighborhoods where it comes from. So I'm in total agreement with what you said, brother. I definitely feel you. And like you say, whether it's the new black media, whether it's the independent black media, the young black media, whatever black media we got, we need to go ahead and we need to make sure that we go ahead and we support them as much as possible. We got our people in place or whatever. We need more. That's what I tell everybody. People like, we don't have enough. when you look at all of the white media outlets out there in this country, think about what state you live at. Is it one or two white-owned media outlets, or is it hundreds? Every state that you live in has a news affiliate, a news station. They have radio stations. They have newspapers. They have websites. They have all of this stuff right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 100 black-owned newspapers in this country. And we have a bunch of black-owned newspapers, old black-owned newspapers that the vast majority of us don't even know. We need more black media. We need black media that's not going to be beholden to political parties as well. We need actual black media that's going to go ahead and just put the stuff out there, the true stuff out there. So until we get that, we're going to always have this issue. So like I say, Shepard, I definitely agree with what you were saying. So let me go ahead. I don't want to hog it up. Let me go ahead and kick it to Najee. I know you've been waiting for a minute. So Najee, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, what's going on? I kind of agree with more or less like everybody who came before. My disagreement is with the we. When we we're being sensitive, or we're doing this, or we're doing that. Kanye West is not being sanctioned by we or us. He's being sanctioned by white power. So we seen how power operates. We never had the power to sanction or silence Kanye West. We don't even have the power to sanction or silence some of these anti-black entertainers, rappers. You know what I'm saying? So what we seen with the Kanye West situation, we seen hypocrisy firsthand. So as long as Kanye West is saying slavery doesn't have a choice, if he would have just left it with his name escapes me, George Floyd, it wouldn't have been an issue. It became an issue when he started to open his mouth about Jewish people. And this is another thing that we got to stop doing. Stop getting into the fights of white people. That's above our people. What the Anglo whites and what the Jewish whites have going on, that's their fight. But one thing that we did see and we need to basically examine is the fact that once you offend somebody from their group, you will never find anybody in entertainment or even on a lower level coming to the defense of a person that's being disrespected. We do this. We're doing this right now. We're sitting around here trying to psychoanalyze and understand what Kanye West is saying, and some people that's saying he got a greater scheme. We sound like when people was running around talking about Obama going to do something for black people his last term, like he was going to order something turn into that term. Kanye West has showed us who he is. Let him be disciplined. You know what I'm saying? Because I know there definitely has to be. I'm not for silencing people, but you have to basically learn. You know what I'm saying? Reading is more important than TV. And I read a 700-page book on Hitler and Nazi Germany. And this is why the Jewish population is very sensitive about protecting their names, because they understand when you allow a society to make you less than, when you allow a society, a media apparatus, a government to basically turn you into the enemy, to turn you to a deplorable, when something happens to you, the world is not going to blink. About time the world comes to your rescue and put a pause to the extermination that's going on, it's too late. We seen that in real time in Hurricane Katrina. During Hurricane Katrina, the media had all kind of stories coming out about people that the men down there were raping babies and killing people, and it wasn't true. Nobody held MSNBC accountable. Nobody held CNN accountable. Nobody held Fox News accountable. In the midst of black people trying to escape a flood, they were getting shot at trying to cross a bridge. That's what it looks like when you allow a media apparatus, when you whether it's right wing or liberal or Kanye West or entertainers, to basically sully your name. We have to protect our name at all costs, whether it's Kanye West, whether it's the news. Because what they're trying to do is they're trying to set up a situation where when they do come for us, and they are coming for us, it's just more or less like a slow kick. Because they're killing us economically, and then the police take little pot shots, and then y'all was talking about the Kansas situation where you had a serial killer running around. and the population was telling them, like, listen, black women are missing. There's a serial killer, and the police ignored them. And basically, there's also news reports that saying that this serial killer was also a white supremacist, and he told this particular victim that he'll stop treating you like nothing when you start acting like you're something. So he already in his mind frame looked at us like a poor, and he had a system that aided him, that allowed him to do what he did. In that same area, you have an officer by the last name of Galimsky, Roger Galimsky. He's on trial right now. 30 years he terrorized black women in Canada, raping not even black women, black girls, basically holding women, basically holding the threat of locking up their loved ones. So he had access to rape. That went on for 30 years. They locked the man up, and he's out on bail because the judge said that he has diabetes and he's no longer a threat to society. So when you have somebody like Kanye West coming out and spitting and speaking and regurgitating white supremacist talking points, that's an issue. That's an issue. You know what I'm saying? So again, we have to protect our name. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know y'all have Marlo Stansfield said, he said, my name is my name. We have to be serious about this. So I understand free speech. Everybody can talk. But, you know, at the same time, when somebody is being disciplined publicly for disrespecting black people, you don't have to lend a fucking opinion. Let them be disciplined. So if Kanye West is so hell-bent and so thirsty to be in proximity of whiteness, and he's going the route of regurgitating white supremacy talking points, and he's being silenced and disciplined, so be it. So be it. Even with Candace Owens. We've been talking about Black Lives Matter since 2014, 2016. So I gotta call bullshit on her documentary. If she didn't bring up Darren Sills, if she didn't bring up the other 5 men that was killed, that was protesting down there, I gotta call bullshit. During the time that we were calling out Black Lives Matter, that was the age of Me Too and what they was calling toxic masculinity. That's when all them articles was coming out saying that black men are the white supremacists of the black community. That's when we were calling out Black Lives Matter. So we didn't need Candace Owens to come along. We were hoteps, we were conspiracy theorists, we've been sounding out. So she's not doing nothing impressive. We don't need her to do this. We've been doing this. White people allowed it. Even those riots was allowed to happen. Now, I'm gonna close with this. I was in New York City when they was rioting. And when it came to me that I said that there's a bigger agenda at play, when the police, because the police was standing down and they were basically letting people riot in the Soho section. I don't know if y'all familiar with New York City. Soho section is high-end, Prada, Gucci, Balenciaga, all those stores, Montclair. They was allowing them to run rampant. For what ends, I don't know. We should have knew something was in play when they put Black Lives Matter right in front of Donald Trump's residence in New York City on Fifth Avenue. That's money. That's power. That's able to do that. That's not no 4 or 3 black women. You know what I'm saying? That was swindling the community. They was allowed to do that. So again, like I said, man, we got to be definitely more disciplined. And when people go against us and disrespect us, whether they're white, black, or other, there's no need for us to come up here and try to basically interpret what they meant. I'm going what he said. He's not that deep, and it's not that deep. I'm close.
All right, brother. I appreciate you coming into the space, sharing that knowledge with us. Let me go ahead and get to Professor. I'm gonna go ahead and since we're getting late up in the spot, we're gonna go ahead and try to keep the responses down to 2 minutes. So, Professor, go ahead and unmute your mic, brother.
Hey, before you go, Professor, hey, just to repeat what Shepard said, if you want talking about investment of our own shares in the Jumbotron, it's called Social. And Speaker Sister, that tweet is up there what Ms. D was talking about. It's right there on the left-hand side, but come up to our own Black network. It's called Social, and we doing our own thing up there. So if you're going to drop your bread on something, go ahead, drop it up there. Shout out to homie Greg Blackstate. Let's go.
Also, like Shepard say about the new black media, you can support us on Cash App, which is $Newstoter. Once again, $Newstoter. Go ahead, Professor.
Yeah, what's up, fellas? Peace and power, reparation to everybody in the space here tonight. Secret Sister, much love, sister there. Insane, I see Black Pressure down there. Yeah, I see Shepard always up here.
Professor.
What's up, lady?
Where'd you go? You was my co-host and you left me hanging.
My phone went dead. My phone went down.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But we only got a boot mobile.
Blaming on the alcohol, blaming on the
Yeah, Newstoter, what's up, bro? Ray and DJ, man.
What's up now?
Look, y'all, here's the deal. Candace Owens, I'm just going to go ahead and say it. With her, to me, she's the most dangerous person right now to the black community. Kanye, he's saying some dangerous things too, but Candace Owens right now is a focus because she is the one that the white supremacists are using to throw out the platform. If you notice, Candace Owens was up there back here, I think it probably was about 2 years ago, y'all, when all this Black Lives Matter was taking place across the country, and she was speaking on white supremacists. They invited her up there. The Republicans invited her up there. She had a national platform, because it was on TV, to talk about the fact that white supremacy is not of danger in this country. It's not a priority. That black Americans are more a danger to each other than white supremacy. She said this, y'all, right there in that congressional hearing. So this person, Candace Owens, right now is one of the most dangerous people to our movement, to our cause, because for one, she's not for reparation, and she's going to continue to be put out in front to speak against reparations and to try to find ways to demean the movement, to find ways to discredit the movement. She's going to continue to say that black people need to be trying to fix themselves and stop all the crime in the community, which is what these white supremacists like to holler, y'all. Candace Owens, give her the biggest kick in the ass. She gets the Donkey Award. That's her.
Definitely appreciate that, Professor. Definitely appreciate that. As always, love to have you up in the space and love to hear you speak. Let's go to I believe Insane. Insane, go ahead and unmute your mic, then we're gonna get to Black Pressure.
Yeah, hey folks, I love what Najee had to touch on, and the Black Texan and Shepard as always, man. I really love the way you follow that money trail, man. You walked out of the house and walked into the pack house and went into the old sofa that was in storage and went down into it and found some coins, man, about Bain Capital. I really appreciate that, man. I'm seeing it like the last couple of gentlemen are saying it. It's very complex, and it's noteworthy that they were allowed to riot in Soho like that. I'm very familiar with Soho. I used to spend a lot of time in Soho. It's definitely elite money down there. And you're right, they pretty much were allowed to do that. They are definitely a problem. How we get them up out of the paint, that's a good question. I know right now they have managed to reinsert themselves into this whole narrative out in LA on Democracy Now. Amy Goodman was consulting with, I forget the woman's name, but she's at Cal State University. She teaches Pan-African Studies, and she's the Black Lives Matter rep for California. So again, they've done what they do. They go underground, they take some heat, they go underground, and they resurface deep pockets, and things of that nature. So looking at it from a much more complex level, I agree with many things with what Shepard, Najee, and the Black Texan are saying about this situation, that's going on here. And at the end of the day, we have got to be very calculated in our movements and our interpretations of what's being presented to us. And I'll land my plane with that.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. I said we got a new speaker. We're not gonna be taking any other new speakers. So Reggie, I'll go ahead and let you get in here, but we're not gonna be taking any other new speakers for the rest of the night. So Reggie, go ahead. You have 2 minutes. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thank you, my brother. We have to realize
realize that this is like warfare. This is mental warfare. These people, they know how to use these distractions. You have black people talking about reparations, this type of stuff. So yeah, they have all of these people that they use, the Kanye Wests, Candace Owens, Oprah Winfrey's, Steve Harvey's, all these people that they have in their pockets that they use to say something stupid that's going to bring a reaction from black people. Now all of your attention are on these stupid ass people instead of the ones that, like you said, that's allowing them to have their voice and to stay focused on reparations. Myself, I feel as if that Kanye West is a special needs child that has musical talent. He always says something stupid. And you have to also remember he said something about those Jews. So now he got to say something that's going to distract that. Now you're talking about George Floyd. So don't allow these people to play these games to where, hey man, that we might lose focus. Because they are not, you got to do their tools, man. And to hell with them. So thank you for allowing me to speak, my brother, and continue the good work. Thank you. Now I am a plan.
Thank you, Reggie. I appreciate it, brother. I'm glad to see you up in the space as well, too. So definitely appreciate having you up in here. We're going to go Black Pressure, Secret Sister, and we're going to go Shepherd. Black Pressure, go ahead and unmute your mic, bro.
Hey, man, I meant to shout out Reverend Tim earlier, man. I had to slip my mind, but he came with some, he kicked the real what he said earlier. I just couldn't get, when it was my turn to talk, I couldn't remember. But I definitely want to shout out to Brother Shepherd. I like your spill tonight, brother. I really did. You kicked the real, but I will say this. I want to put a comma behind something that he said, because he really said something that was true about why are we scared to, I guess, take a charge or, stand up to the police. And I want to say this, and I'm definitely interested in what Shepard's reply would be, but I'm sure Shepard knows this just as well as I do, that if you go back the last 60 years, I'll just say 60 for the dummies like me, just to make it an even number, white supremacy went on a murder campaign just to make it clear to every black man. They said, hey, everyone that has the nuts to stand up to us, we're going to kill you. So you could start with the, Martin Luther King. They murdered Malcolm X. They murdered Medgar Evers. They murdered Fred Hampton. They murdered Huey P. Newton. They crossed the water. They murdered Patrice Lumumba. They murdered Darren Sills. And, we can go on and on and on and on and on. So I would say to Shepherd, if I could, the best way I can answer the question that he posed, that's why literally white supremacy went on a terror campaign to teach us that this is what will happen if you have the guts to stand up to us. And I'll land my plane there.
Once again, thank you, Black Pressure. Appreciate you, brothers, always. Secret Sister, go ahead and unmute your mic, sister.
Well, I just want to say I appreciate all you gentlemen, and what you said. It all is very good. Shepherd, however, I'm pretty sure the world would never want me and you to ever collectively get together, because I'm being good, because I'm on Newstoter's. I'm going to be good, aren't I, bro? I'm being real good, and but I'm very about that life. I feel we should have been teaching them. I can't do it alone. I like to stand 10 toes down in their face, because I feel as though if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. But I'm going to fight whether it does or not. But I cannot keep on seeing my people running. Okay, we've run long enough. It's time for us to stand at this point. And I like to stand and fight. That has been my whole life. And I love what you came in here and said, and I'm pretty sure DJ probably was back there laughing like, oh my God, don't say that around her. Because you just helped me to understand that, I can still be, grimy. Because the thing is let's not
I'm with the
ask.
gang, sister. Hold up. Secret sister? I'm with the gang.
I know you is, but I'm probably one of the only females that will, but I always have to be told, no, don't say this. So I said, I'm going to start opening up my own, and I'm going to speak reckless. Come see me, because I'm tired. Now, I don't care. Don't nobody else have to stand in front of me. I can stand for myself, but I will be standing for y'all. I don't have no problem, but I'm not going to allow nobody to continue to tell me what to say, how to say it, none of that. Enough of ours have died, but I'm sorry. I have grandkids, and I have 2 male grandsons, and there's no way I'm going to let them, I want them to know this is your home, and you tell these white motherfuckers how to walk in your home. Everybody's a guest except freedmen. Everybody. Treat them as that, and guess what? The ancestors will help you. You'll get this backbone, because I know y'all feel it coming in me. I'm about to go radical. I'm very radical, Shepherd. But you got to hit me in the back, because I'm real radical. But I will stand 10 toes down. I have no problem. Call me, I'll be there. DJ know it. Professor know it. And I also came up with something really quick. I had said on my thing that maybe what we can do is we could have I call all my brothers and sisters the celebrities, because we are the toughest Black people on this earth. So I say we the celebrities. So let's have a celebrity boxing, some boxing series. All the money that we bring in, let's put behind putting our Black, like there'll be Democratic, Republic, and then freedmen. That'll be a whole nother class of its own. So we can back our own political party. And I feel like that way you guys and women can get it all off your chest in the ring. And then we'll be making some money all at once. And I know I want a couple people myself. So on that, thank you, Newstoter. Love you. Love you, Ray. Love all you men. Love all my brothers. I stand for my men. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. We definitely love you.
Cone division too. Don't forget the cone division. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to get knocked out first.
Definitely love you as well. Shepherd, go ahead and unmute your mic, bro.
Hey, secret sister, in that boxing match, I'll never lose a match on that one. Just letting you know.
Shepherd, you there?
Well, you know what? If it don't matter, just pick who you got the problem with. Shepherd?
Go ahead. Shepherd.
Yeah, I'm here. I was just letting them speak. I appreciate the feedback. I mean, we do align. I think sometimes we get off on the wrong foot in some of these rooms, and we just need to have a few rooms to see where we on point. What part of the conversations we on point, and we could work with each other to the point where you feel that we go a separate direction, and we ain't always got to go in that separate direction. There's no enemies and no foes. Nobody is disposable in the Black community. It's people that need to grow. It's people that got great ideas. They just ain't got the money and the backing behind them. And there's other people that are definitely ops, and that ain't me. And I don't see y'all as no ops either. I think we all could do something and make something happen, and we all could learn from each other. With that being said, we know who the true ops of the community are. I mean, at the end of the day, we know that these Christian, national, religious, zealots, these cult members for Christianity, these white supremacists, we know they want us dead, and that should be our unity and our rallying call. To the point about being terrorized to the point where we don't fight back anymore. Yeah, that's muscle memory. Everybody knows that there's a good chance on a police stop that you're going to get murdered if you don't have your hands at 10 and 2. They've scared us to the point where, we do have muscle memory where, we don't buck. But we got to figure out how to that's why we train, right? I know we talk about pulling up
3 and 4 plates. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why we train, so we don't react. That's why people go to the gun range, so that they can pull the holster out in one fluid motion, and it's muscle memory. So just like they trained us to be afraid of the police in our communities, we got to figure out how to untrain the muscle memory of fear in our communities. So I was talking about the record labels and the Jews too, and the only part of Kanye's conversation that made any motherfucking sense, you know. There's 3 main record labels in the game that's really, you know, holding the game down. There's you know, Universal, you know, there's Sony, you know what I'm saying, and what is it, MCA and Warner, yeah, Sony, Warner, and Universal, and they are run by our Jewish brothers who are exploiting. You know, I'm saying that for Twitter. You know, they are exploiting, you know, our people, and they are creating millionaires out of black men who go ahead and rinse and repeat that exploitation. The brother Chamillionaire and the brother Wise Intelligent and a lot of other brothers like Chuck D have got on this platform and said exactly what Kanye said. You know, the exact same words about the exploitation, but they said it when they wasn't on the hot seat. Kanye says it when he's kicked out the game. When they turn the monopoly board over on him, that's when he want to come out and say the shit that's the truth. Where was you? Where was you when, you know, all these motherfuckers is getting exploited? Chamillionaire, he said it in the interview best. He said, yeah, I hired a forensic accountant and they found $600,000 that Universal Music was hiding from me. He said he was able to get off the label because he told Universal Music that he was going to tell every black person in the game that they could hire a forensic attorney, accountant, and find the missing money that these Jewish brothers are stealing from us. So there's a lot of truth in one part of Kanye's message, and that's the part I choose to focus on, the truthful part of his message. I land with this. We in a trick bag, man. And we got to figure out how to tighten up, man. And like I was saying earlier, support the new black media and black media that's not out here lying to us. And we got to figure that shit real soon because we don't have much time left. Because this shit that's happening to our babies and our youth, this brainwashing through this trap music and through this killing field music, it's some demonic shit. And they figured out a frequency to really hurt us. The same way we tune in and we heard by the words by George Floyd, the same way that they broadcasting this message to our kids, you know, to get them other than themselves. So they do the same thing to poor white people too, believe it or not. They broadcast this hate and they indoctrinate them over these airwaves. Rush Limbaugh, Hannity, Glenn Beck, all these motherfuckers preach the opposite message to these poor white kids to get them to fucking flip and do some Buffalo shit, you know? Black people replacing us. Yeah, they hear this shit. Yeah.
Why you got to pay reparations because you want Republicans to vote for you? Black people are 90% Democrat.
These are coded messages. These are coded messages Tuberville and these other people send out to their people. So we in a battle. And it's about the elites against the poor. The poor whites is fucking getting programmed. Our kids in our community is fucking getting programmed. And if we awake, then we need to figure out how to fight that shit through the black media and boots on the ground. So I'll leave it with that because it's getting late. And this nigga got to get some cookies and milk in a minute.
This cat always come up in here like 9:40, and then he wants us to have a midnight cabaret or something like that. He ain't gonna come in here around 8 o'clock, so he coming here around 9:30.
All right, Grandpa. and that's why nobody likes.
Yeah, he coming here around. I'm sorry. I've been curating news all day long from 7:30, 8 o'clock this morning all the way to the nighttime. So I'm sorry that I might want to take a little break, watch a little TV, kick back and relax for a little bit. I'm sorry about that, brother.
See this nigga in the easy chair. That's the funny shit. When he's talking, you can visualize that.
We got some haters up in the space. I'm gonna go ahead, and our last 2 speakers for the night is gonna be Insane and a Black State Majority. So anybody that requests to come up, we're gonna have to go ahead and let you guys come up in the next space. So Insane, go ahead and make it about 2 minutes if you can.
I can make it even shorter. I can be quite concise with it. Thanks so much, Shepard, for those insightful words, especially about the milk and cookies. Yeah, what I want to say is, Toto and I were talking about, different approaches to fundraising and maybe thinking of coming up with a calendar where each day is targeting a specific event, all focused on the reparations agenda. That way, everyone can pick a day and they not stressed trying to support a lot of different things. Everybody pick their own favorite thing and just focus on that, be it weekly or monthly or however you want to do it. And in addition to that, this whole movement rally going on in DC. I am searching and talking with people about charter buses and what actually happens with those. And the importance, what I want to bring out is the importance of the charter bus. Once the charter bus emerges going to any given event, especially a political rally in the Black community, what happens is it really kicks the organic movement into overdrive, because the charter bus in itself represents the first car in ultimately what becomes a caravan of cars following in tow. That's a proven fact. That always happens with us in these political types of gatherings. So I'm wanting to do more, definitely trying to even get one off the ground here. I'm not plugged into any churches like that right now, but I do know that that's something that most pastors have within arm's reach, charter bus services. So they know reliable ones, as well as all the Black reliable ones, if there are any out there. So that's something I'm looking into and definitely going to go down the rabbit hole with. I know that Afro Elite is doing something. I'm waiting on a message back from him. So again, the importance of that charter bus is that it kicks the organic movement into overdrive. And what you end up with is a charter bus being the lead vehicle, and what oftentimes is a long caravan of other vehicles following that bus to a destination point. So that's the importance. That's very important, these charter buses, and availing them to people who in the community might simply see a flyer at the barbershop or at the grocery store, at the corner store. They'll join in, because there are people talking about this besides us on this space, but a lot of people may very, very well not know about this rally. So I'll land my plane with that.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Black State Majority, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Hey, Black, just real quick before you go, just to piggyback off of that. So if you live in a major metropolitan type area, 9 times out of 10, there is a bus going to DC 2 to 3 times a day. No matter where you live at, just about in this country, is a bus that goes straight to the nation's capital, yo. You feel me? Look it up in your area or whatever.
You got it.
What's up, my boy? What's up, my boy?
You got it, Black.
Okay. Only thing I really want to say is please donate to Newstoter. Please donate to Newstoter. And shout out to Ray and also DJ Setch One in the building. I did get the glance at.
Oh, I think we lost him.
Yeah, he most
likely help me out.
Let's see if we can get him to. Let's see. Yeah, let's see.
Hey, check this out, News. We need to shout out Ray too, man.
Yeah, everybody. I literally heard myself speaking.
Yeah, you went into the major bed, bro.
Didn't hear me. Just bizarre.
You there, bro?
Yeah. Look.
Hey, Greg,
can you hear us?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you?
I can hear.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I've never seen it.
Go ahead.
So, okay, let me just get to the topic. So, George Floyd is our fallen brother. Love him, love his family, love his daughter, all his supporters. I mean, in all reality, and I didn't know this. I just found this out. His father was a member of the Black Panthers. I said in less than a minute of time was very traumatic. 99.9% of that whole exchange was extremely powerful, and it at 1 minute is being exploited and used to in a sense condemn him, when 99.9% of what he said was really beneficial. The minister and the nation is fully behind him. All of the posts of the people that I see supporting him are aligned with the minister. And so what we're having is in Black America, we're having factions being formed. People are choosing sides. And at the end of the day, I've got to separate very unfortunate comments from the very, very powerful statements that are made. So that's where I stand on it. I support him, knowing that what he said was wrong, and hopefully he gets better. But from what I can tell, he's got some people around him, and hopefully they get much, much closer to him. So I'll end with that.
Thank you, Black. We definitely appreciate you. I don't. Somebody speaking.
I'm sorry, I thought
Who is that?
it sounded like the Unabomber talk.
Yeah, I don't know who that was. Who was that speaking? I just heard a voice.
That's my name. Rick was speaking.
Show over with Rick. Should have came at 8 o'clock on.
Your secret sister, sister. I know I said that Black was going to be the last speaker. I see you got your hand up. Is it something that you want to add before we close it out?
No, I was just trying to say that I did have a breakdown of everything, and do you go by Black majority, or I don't know? I always call him my cowboy brother because I like the hat. But Gray, go over there and check out my space I did today. I kind of broke it down, and I also I'm unapologetic shepherd. So I say what I feel like over there. Everybody knows I say and I speak my mind over there, and I don't give a damn. But on other people's, I do respect theirs if they don't want me to say stuff. But I say everything. I'm unapologetic, and I am very radical.
Not like you were shooting your shot there about that hat. What's going on with that?
I'm very married. Very married. I love my husband. Look at Professor. I am married. I'm married. No, that's my cousin. I can't never. It'd be great.
Secret sister be playing matchmaker up on this space sometimes.
I sure do. I'm the matchmaking queen. I do matchmaking. Yeah, Shepherd. So I did start following you, but everybody, please go play that recording because it did turn out real good. It started off as that, and then towards the end, it started to come where we was coming up with some solutions and how we was going to get together behind off of this. But we was going to get together in different sections and do some stuff. Y'all got to see it. Y'all got to see. I did good today, Toter. I learned it from you, bro.
I appreciate that, sister. I'm going to let the two co-hosts go ahead and get a final word in there, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to close this space out for the night. So, Ray, is there anything you want to say, or DJ?
I just wanted to thank everybody for coming out, man. Because literally, you guys could be anywhere else in the world, but y'all here with us, man. Y'all rocking out. And this may not be a big space. It's 30, 40 people in here, but I'd rather have 30, 32 exactly, codified people than to have a bunch of, to have 100 or 200 and everyone in here just a bunch of agents just trying to bring us down. That's all I got to say. And we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Love you, Ray.
You got it, DJ.
Word, love the family much. Reparations up, and big up to the brother Black State. And if you guys are in the Jumbotron right here or in the space, and if you look, you'll see a profile that says Social, SOXCIAL. It's right there with the flaming heart fire right there. Goes follow our Black American Network. This is our Black American Network. So y'all can come on up. It's inside of the Jumbotron somewhere up in here real quick. I'll repost it just for the sake of posting it. We're trying to get our people off these WPIs. That's why I named my new profile is White Public Institutions or Any Black. So Twitter, had a whistleblower that was snitching on Twitter, but you wasn't snitching on them when these white folks be up here calling us the N-word and all this other stuff, and we be getting blocked for speaking out and yada yada yada, and Kanye can't say nothing, and now his money is being excommunicated for whatever it was. He felt like he had an opinion on something. You feel what I'm saying? We don't do that to no other culture, so we gotta yield and just mute ourselves from these people. Who cares about them? We got all the talent any damn way. So do we really even need these folks? But y'all won't understand that until y'all start coming up here. That's just really what it is. That's all of us. You know what I mean? Not saying you got to delete your account from anywhere else. We just saying, hey, look, we talking our shit over here now. You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of the shit we going to be saying over here, we going to be saying it over there. We getting the live feed together. There's a lot of good stuff going on. Come up there and promote your black business. If you got something to say on reparations, you're a candidate. We got HBCU forum over there, gaming community, music, you already know the shit is on fire. Newstoter got a community over there, the shit is on fire. We just need y'all to come up and say, that's fire. You know what I'm saying? Or that's trash. Now I got a problem with that. But it's our own shit, and you ain't going to be excommunicating for saying whatever word you want to feel like you want to say. But obviously, still way anything, we got to keep it in good taste. Love y'all. Good night. Newstoter.
Definitely, y'all. Y'all definitely make your way over there to the social. Go ahead and get you an account so we can go ahead and start building up our own black-owned platforms. That's what we need to do. We always complain about Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, the way they treat us and the way they ban us and suspend us and do everything to our accounts. So when we have a chance to go ahead and do our own, go ahead and support it. Also support the largest black curation platform today in America, the largest black-owned news aggregator today in America. So make sure you guys visit newstoter.com daily. Also, make sure that you guys check out the Twitter space, like I say, Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Of course, we will be back tomorrow with another interesting topic. And I want to give a shout out to the co-hosts, to the speakers, to the listeners, to everybody who tweeted out the space and whatnot. We will definitely see you guys tomorrow. I want you guys to go ahead and make sure you enjoy yourselves. Have a good night. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night.
It's cookie time.
I bet Shepard won't be in the space tomorrow. He'll probably if he come in, he'll come in for like 10 minutes and leave.